says the main reason for One Nation's continued surge is most voters feel the country is heading in the wrong direction and neither major party has the ability to fix it. The poll also shows Anthony Albanese's standing as preferred Prime Minister has taken a hit on the back of a poorly received budget. Pauline Hanson is in second spot and Liberal leader Angus Taylor third.
Victims of domestic, family and sexual violence in South Australia will be eligible for a 100% stamp duty relief and the first home owner grant, even if they had bought a home previously. It's under a new ex gratia scheme designed to help vulnerable women leave dangerous situations and re-establish themselves in secure, independent housing. Domestic, family and sexual violence identified as the leading cause of homelessness for women, with 45% of all women and girls who seek homelessness help identifying domestic, family or sexual violence as a cause. Data shows Australian home prices have flatlined in May as headwinds affect the market. Cotality's National Home Value Index showing Sydney leading the downturn with a drop of nearly 1%. Research Director Tim Lawless says a number of factors are softening the market.
We've seen inflation rising, interest rates have picked up, we've seen confidence fall off a cliff in the midst of an oil shock. And now, of course, with the budget, we're probably likely to see less investment in the marketplace, taking away from aggregate demand.
There are fears a child may have perished in a house fire in the Melbourne suburb of Werribee. Nine reporter Emily Rice at the scene.
It was around midnight when emergency services were called to this family home on Newbury Street in Werribee to find it fully engulfed by flames. Now, unconfirmed reports are that there were several children trapped inside. We know a 40-year-old was treated for smoke inhalation, but we are trying to follow up on details of potentially a child perishing also in this fire. So quite distressing scenes here this morning. There is a lot of damage to the home, a lot of children's sport and play equipment outside, and of course police are guarding the scene with Fire Corps investigators to return to determine the cause of this distressing fire.
Global car sales could fall by 800,000 units this year as purchase orders bank up at car yards. The closure of the Strait of Hormuz due to the Iran war is affecting supply chains. Medical experts highlighting the effects of back pain on mental health as part of Spinal Health Month. An ACQU survey finding nearly half of Australians with back pain reporting it had a moderate to extreme effect on their mental health. Australian Chiropractors Association Dr. Kim Lee Jom says the numbers are getting worse.
Between 2024 to 2026, there was an increase of 14% in chronic pain sufferers. That was 30% in 2024 and now it's 41.1% in 2026.
Briefly, clashes between football fans and police across France has led to over 700 arrests following the Champions League final. More than 200 people have been injured, with 450 in custody. The Israeli military says it's captured Beaufort Castle in southern Lebanon after days of intense fighting and airstrikes. And the body of a swimmer who went missing at Little Bay in Sydney's east last Monday has now been found. Turning to 5AA Sport.
Huge price drop on new Mitsubishi ASX from $34,990 drive away. Agostino, Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes.
Good morning, Tom Wren.
Yeah, very good morning to you as well, Maddie. There was no immediate spike in form for Essendon despite a change of coach. The Bombers going down by 5 goals against West Coast in Perth last night. It's the Eagles' 4th win of the season. It means they're now up to 15th on the ladder while Essendon is still last. There was one other game yesterday and GWS has jumped into the top 10 after a convincing 49-point demolition of Melbourne. The Power had the bye and have now dropped down to 16th. The Crows also had the bye. They're 8th. Adelaide will host Geelong on Thursday night while Port Adelaide travels to Perth to take on West Coast on Saturday night. Well, both fields at the French Open are wide open with another heavyweight bowing out. Craig Gabriel reports from Roland Garros.
The stunning upsets keep coming at Roland Garros, and now the 4-time champion Iga Swiatek is packing her bags because Marta Kostyuk has beaten Swiatek 7-5, 6-1 to reach the quarters. But maybe it shouldn't be seen as such a huge surprise. Kostyuk is no slouch. She's the 15th seed, but this is where it's even more telling. She's the only woman this season to be undefeated on red clay. After this win, she's 16-0. It's her second time in the quarters of a major. The last was at the 24 Australian Open.
Briefly elsewhere, the Adelaide Thunderbirds have exacted some revenge on the Melbourne Vixers for a loss earlier this season, powering to a 61-42 goal win in their clash here in Adelaide yesterday. That result means the T-Birds are now sitting a game clear on top. And in some cricket, the Royal Challengers Bengaluru are the IPL champions again. Aussies Tim David and Josh Hazlewood both played key roles in the 5-wicket win over the Gujarat Titans. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thank you, Tom.
This long weekend, check out the new beer garden at the Mosaic Hotel, Footy Park Precinct, West Lakes.
Showers windy today and tomorrow, 20 today, 18 tomorrow. Showers on Wednesday and Thursday, both 16, and they'll ease on Friday, also 16. Right now it's 14. 5AA, always Adelaide.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. The Lynn Andrews team have seen a lot of change in real estate over the past 50 years, but one thing remains unchanged: our passion to help people invest in their future. To build strong property portfolios in either the residential or the commercial sectors. Our commitment to property investment over the years means we have a wealth of knowledge to share. We're here to help you. Visit lynnandrews.com.au.
There are many reasons why Steinborner Automotive is well worth the trip, with over 400 cars in stock across 10 yards in Gawler, Barossa and Clare, including Steinborner Mitsubishi and Yuri Utpa, with a great selection of the best value new demo and low-kilometre Triton, Pajero Sport, ASX and Outlander. Along with outstanding service from our award-winning staff, you know it's well worth a trip to Steinborner Mitsubishi. View our whole range of Mitsubishi at steinborner.com.au.
At Coles, save big on Biscuit Delights. Right now, get half price on Arnott's Tim Tam biscuits, 165 gram to 200 gram. Now just $3. Save in-store or online at Coles. Offer ends Tuesday.
If you haven't been to Turkey Flat Vineyards in the Barossa, well, honestly, what are you waiting for? It's less than an hour from the city and it feels like a completely different world.
It's such a lovely winery. You're sitting on the lawns with a glass of Shiraz that came from vines that are genuinely among the oldest in the world. Or if the weather's doing its thing, you're inside by the fire. Either way, nobody's rushing you. I'll tell you what, it's not rosé weather at the moment, but during summertime we do a bit of heavy lifting when it comes to the Turkey Flat Rosé. The cellar door itself is a converted butchery from the 1860s, which sounds like it shouldn't work, but it absolutely does.
That's right. Take the family, grab some friends, make a weekend of it, and here's something you can take with you. Use the code RADIO. Radio, that's it, RADIO, at the checkout, and you get 20% off when you book any wine online. Turkey Flat Vineyards, Bethany Road, Tanunda. Drink responsibly.
Are you aged 18 to 55 and generally healthy? Here's your opportunity to make a meaningful impact. CMAX is looking for people like you to help trial a potential treatment for psychosis associated with dementia and Parkinson's disease. If eligible, you'll spend 4 nights at CMAX, attend 1 follow-up visit, complete 1 phone call, and get paid for your time. Your involvement could help improve treatment options for thousands of Australians. Ready to advance healthcare? Apply at cmax.com.au.
Good morning. First time caller, long time listener.
Knock down, build 2 with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
Live from Hindmarsh Square, it's 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
6:09, good morning to you. Welcome to June. Welcome to winter. Welcome to Monday morning on 5AA Breakfast. Let me just start things off this way, and I think this will account for plenty of what we're going to discuss on the program this morning. Here is the rainfall totals for the next 4 days. 10 millimetres today, 15 tomorrow, 10 on Wednesday, 15 on Thursday. Today and tomorrow, showers and windy, 100k an hour wind gusts expected for much of the state. We'll be spending a bit of time talking about that this morning. That said, if you need an antidote to talking about the cold weather, how about a hot August forecast? An Adelaide-based independent climatologist by the name of Darren Ray has crunched the numbers on this super El Nino and what it could mean for South Australia. He says it could mean that in August, we get a particularly warm August, but we'll talk to him about that after 6:30 today. We'll be chatting with the SES about the wind and rain in Adelaide over the course of the next 48 hours. Also on the program, Stacey Lee. It's a Monday morning. We'll talk real estate with Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. What's going to become of the latest, what Bruce Gitte from the Property Council called Le Cornu site in Adelaide? We'll talk about that after 8 o'clock. And after 8:30, very much looking forward to chatting with Josh Richards. He seems like a terrific bloke. This is the Adelaide diver who was taken to Laos to get, in part because of his diminutive stature, to get into the cave that these guys were trapped in. Well, as he was suited up and prepared to go into the cave, out they came. The water pumps worked to such a degree that the people trapped inside said, you know what, stuff this, we're getting out. We'll talk to Josh about that and what it was like at the scene and his entire experience after 8:30 today. David Penberthy, good morning to you.
Good morning, Will. Good morning, listeners. Wakey, wakey, South Australia. I know it's cold. Well, you don't actually have to, unless you've got a job or something like that. But if you're a retired person or maybe you're just an indolent person, staying in bed would be my tip right now. It's cold. It's wet.
13.7. It's not as cold.
Well, that's true. It's not too cold.
But your feelings are correct. The apparent temperature is 10.5.
Yeah. Well, yesterday I did some gardening in the afternoon. And I sat down and Kate goes, "Were you mad? Look at you. You're bloody freezing out here." And because I've been working, I wasn't really feeling it. Half an hour later, I was like, "Oh, it is cold."
Yeah.
But then I checked. It said it was 15. Well, there's no way it's 15. But the apparent temperature was like 11 or something, because of the wind. And I'll tell you what, if you want a sneak preview of what we might be getting here over the next 48 hours, have a look at the news in Western Australia. I was looking at the WA Today website this morning to see what they're going through. Trees down, houses inundated with leaks, roofs and gutters unable to cope with it. 30,000 houses without power in Perth right now, and
is that right?
Scrambling to get them all back on. Apparently around the Peel area, sort of south east, I think it is. That's where most of the damage was done. They're one of the football teams, aren't they? Peel Thunder.
Peel Thunder. They certainly are.
Yeah, don't know how Peel Thunder's training is going to go this week. Although by that stage, the worst of it could actually be here. But yeah, it looks like it's quite full on. So. Batten down the hatches, folks.
100 km/h gusts expected to hit the West Coast Eyre Peninsula and York Peninsula this afternoon. I read the Metro Adelaide rainfall totals. You look around the state and they're a bit more dramatic. So Mount Lofty Ranges, KI, and down in the southeast, you could get 60 millimetres between today and tomorrow. So there'll be parts of South Australia that get really drenched. Pretty much nowhere's going to escape. This is going to be one of those patterns, it would appear, where some thin band is going to get a lot and everyone else gets nothing. Feels like we'll get something, but certainly parts of the regions will get significantly more, and the wind that's going to come with it as well. It's real learn about the leaks weather, isn't it? I was at West Lakes over the weekend, and the entrance to David Jones, they'd had to remove part of the roof because it was leaking in the thoroughfare there, and it was just buckets. Yeah, and it was just a great. So many homes look like that.
Did you get a double cut roll?
I went there actually.
I did,
really? And I did get a roll. I did.
Got to get in there.
You placed it in my mind on Friday.
Mums. Yes.
That's right.
What's the actual name of that place?
I've only been there 1,000 times in my life. I'm not sure.
It's funny, isn't it?
It's just a sandwich joint at West Lakes Mall.
Yeah. Where do you stand on the cave question, Will? How do you go in caves?
I did caving in New Zealand once when I was in my early 20s and I was stupid.
Scary?
No, because it wasn't. It wasn't like, Richard Harris. You weren't wearing oxygen tanks. It was just.
But was it water? Was it in?
There was water.
Swimming?
There were parts of it in water where you had to swim. But was
it summertime?
No, it was freezing. It was like ice on the South Island of New Zealand.
You're kidding.
Muddy water. It was a bit like what you see. You crawled through a couple of holes, and it was uncomfortable enough to know. And that would have been. I'm guessing that's the equivalent of the kindergarten level of caving. And I went, it looks cool. I never need to do this again in my life.
Yeah, I went kayaking through a cave in Thailand that was inside one of those, they're called hamongs, those giant structures made by volcanic eruptions. There's rocks like in Halong Bay.
Yep.
So there was one that we went to, there's a whole bunch of people doing this tour, and we had to kayak through a hole on the outside of one of those rock monoliths. And when we were going through this tunnel, at one point, we're wearing miners' helmets, right? So we're in our bathers, holding paddles, in kayaks, wearing miners' helmets. I think, what are the miners' helmets for? They said, there's a bit where it's going to get a little bit dark. So we're going through this tunnel, and it got narrower and narrower and narrower. And they said, okay, this is the bit now we're not going to be able to paddle. So you've got to lie down as flat as you can with the paddle next to you in the kayak and push with your hands. And I was just going, rightio. And they said, we have to do it through this 2-hour window because otherwise the tide comes up. I'm like, Okay.
Oh, that would be uncomfortable.
Yeah, but I was thinking, what if there's like a sudden change in the tide? If the tidal forecasts are slightly out of whack, because I've got about 5 centimetres up my sleeve here.
Well,
And
you're
I
a bigger
did
guy than the average kayaker, I'm guessing, that would have been on that.
Oh. Well, the other thing, too, you don't want to sound like a sort of, white supremacist, but I was sort of thinking, what's the old health and safety regimen like here in Thailand?
The best game to play travelling in Southeast Asia is, could this ever happen in Australia? And it's amazing how often you meet a circumstance where you say, well, this would just never happen.
Like when you see 6 people on a Vespa, you mean?
Yeah, that's right.
But I was fine, but I did find it pretty unnerving. But I was telling Kate about it because I did it we were there for a wedding. I did it with a bunch of blokes, and then said to her, "You're going to do it?" She goes, "No way, no way." But I love the quote from Josh Richards that we're going to be chatting to later, where he said, "I'm a small, wriggly guy."
Yeah, he's perfect for the job. I wonder, scary things that you do for fun. What, any of our listeners done something that's ostensibly scary, but you did it for fun, like caving in a tight space or kayaking through an increasingly narrow cave? Things that you've done for fun that was scary. 8223 text us on 0480 08 1395. Got a whole range of quite an eclectic collection of texts there, kicking things off this morning.
I love this one from Rob to get things going on this Monday morning. AUKUS, when you buy a Hilux, but they deliver a Corolla and you still talk it up. That's a really good analogy, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's more like you're going to get the new Hilux, but you've actually got one with 50,000 Ks on it. Probably a lot more.
The demo model.
We've got the demo model of the Virginia-class submarines, which we're always going to get a couple that were second-hand. It just sounds like they're all going to be second-hand.
Yes. Mick makes a good point. Morning, lads. I was channel flicking last night telling the kids about how Countdown used to be on Sunday nights. For the billions we spend on the ABC, surely we could bring back a modern version of Countdown. That's a really good point. What happened to Countdown?
Well, it went the way of live made-in-Australia television.
What happened to Rage? Like, Rage had no overheads. It used to come on like clockwork at about 11:30 on a Friday night and a Saturday night, where you get a guest program. And
do
now
they not do it anymore?
Well, it jumps around. Like some weekends, you look on the TV, it doesn't start till 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, Rage used to be appointment-setting television, as did Countdown.
Absolutely. I didn't even know it wasn't. Well, I didn't know it was happening. I'm not up that late these days. 19 after 6.
Yeah, neither am I. Come to think of it. Don't know what I'm complaining about.
It's just like,
ABC.
It's nice to know it's there.
Don't know why I bother.
Even if you don't watch it, if you're paying for it, it's nice to know it's still operating. 19 after 6, things you've done for fun that were a bit scary. 8223 0000. We're going to get to the weather and we'll recap what it was a massive weekend in sport with Tom Wren in just a moment.
Did you know 1 in 3 Aussie adults have high cholesterol? Make the change to Flora Proactive today. Clinically proven to lower your cholesterol by up to 10% in 21 days. Flora Proactive. Start something good.
Adelaide's local, trusted and truly connected talkback radio station. 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Find one on the train.
Find one at the Oval.
Find one at the shopping centre.
Find one in a heartbeat.
Thanks to new legislation, there are now even more automated external defibrillators across SA. In an emergency, call 000 to be directed to your nearest AED. Visit sahealth.sa.gov.au/AEDs. A message from the Government of South Australia.
It's StockTake time and end of financial year savings are heating up. Save now on wood heaters from $999 and gas log fires from only $2,999. Visit today and get winter ready for less. Only at Illusion Gas Log Fires and Ultimate Wood Heaters.
Hi, Rodney Jane here. Bob Jane T-Mart's end of financial year Price Buster sale is now on and the savings are huge. Get up to 35% off a selected range of Yokohama tyres, plus 35% off selected Hankook tyres. Get a massive 35% off selected Kumho tyres. Buy 3 selected tyres and get the 4th tyre free. No one beats our best tyre price guarantee. At Bob Jane T-Mart's, we'll look after you.
T's and C's apply.
Now, you might have noticed mum or dad needing a bit more help at home, from nursing support like wound care or medication management to social support like taking loved ones shopping, to events, or just keeping them company. A little help at home can make all the difference. When that moment comes, turn to Resthaven, South Australia's most trusted provider for over 90 years.
Should you need them, their compassionate nurses are also highly trained in palliative care. Resthaven makes it easy for families to stay connected and supported at home for longer. Resthaven also offer respite cottages with planned activities for times when you can't be there or you just need a well-earned break.
Local, award-winning, reliable. Resthaven, the name SA families trust when independence matters most. Find out more at resthaven.asn.au.
Always feeling hungry no matter how much you've eaten? Constantly battling food cravings? Do you often feel like your metabolism is working against you? Introducing Caruso's Reduce Probiotic. Caruso's Reduce Probiotic reduces appetite and suppresses hunger. It also helps in the management of food cravings and supports your body's metabolism. If hunger, food cravings and your metabolism are holding you back, try Caruso's Reduce Probiotic today from leading pharmacies and health stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
There's a difference between being served and being helped. Often at a big hardware franchise, you're just being served. At Mowers Plus Salisbury, we're here to help. We ask the right questions, then we can help you pick what works from a huge range of brush cutters, blowers, ride-on mowers, chainsaws and so much more. Decades of know-how and a workshop that keeps everything you own running like new. Google Mowers Plus Salisbury and trust your garden to us.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
Scary things you've done for fun. We've got talking about caving this morning and cave diving. I'm going to be chatting with the man sent over to Laos from Adelaide to try and rescue the divers. In the end, the pumps did all the work and they managed to get themselves out. Simon says on the text line, in Melbourne, my wife and I went rap jumping. He says it's like abseiling, but you run face forward down a 7-story building. Face forward. Oh, I don't like the idea of that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like the idea of that at all. Thank you, Simon. Con says, as crazy brave kids, we followed Second Creek from Kensington under the tunnel all the way to the Torrens.
Don't try that at home, kids.
Thank you, Cot. And Malcolm says, the Mad Mouse at the Royal Adelaide Show. I never knew if I'd make it the next corner. The legendary, the infamous Mad Mouse. Scary things you've done for fun, 8223 0000. Let's head out the road. Jono Edwards for 7 years and 5AA is at Glenelg this morning. I hope you've got an umbrella with you, Jono.
Oh, I certainly do, Will. The front's starting to move across, not stopping a lot of walkers and runners. However, we are set for a big downpour. In Perth, a significant amount of damage, 30,000 people without how considered wind strength of a level 1 tropical cyclone, 125-kilometre winds in Perth. It's set to reduce as it comes across South Australia, but a number of warnings in place, and we could see up to 60 mils and winds around 90 kilometres an hour. So expect some delays on the roads. We have received word of an incident regarding the Woodville train station as well that may be causing some delays for commuters, but the front about to hit Adelaide.
Good stuff, Jono. Thank you for that. We're going to be spending a lot of time talking about the weather this morning, but the best reports are always your reports. 8223 0000 if it is moving through your neck of the woods. Let's have a look at the what the Bureau is telling us a bit more specifically. So 13.7 degrees at the moment, 10 millimetres of rain, between 3 and 10 we will get today. That'll move across the state over the course of the day. Wind gusts, there are wind warnings in effect, and 100k an hour gusts expected at various points throughout the day. Over the course of the next few days, tomorrow, top of 18, 4 to 15 millimetres of rain. Wednesday, top of 16, 2 to 10. Thursday, 16, 5 to 15. Just 0 to 3 millimetres in the gauge expected for Friday. Showers easing, but again, just 16. Cool sort of a week, wet sort of a week that does dry up for the weekend. 18 and barely a drizzle on Saturday, and 19 and dry
good
on
for the
Sunday. Yeah, perfect for the weekend.
That's good.
Now, this is a bit of information that's just come across our desk. There's a rail closure. There are no train services operating on the Grange, Port Dock and Outer Harbour train lines. There are currently no substitute buses available.
Daisy.
Passengers should use alternative metro bus or tram services.
What's happened to the trains?
It just says there's no detail at this point in time. An incident at Woodville. Sorry, an incident at Woodville, and now the vague phrasing of that would suggest it's not mechanical. So service is not operating at Woodville, and that's why we don't have any trains operating at this point this morning.
What about this from Charles? Dave, I did that same cave trip as you in Thailand. As the cave height diminished, we were told by the guide to breathe out to allow us to get through. Some of the larger people got stuck and started to scream. The guide let air out from their canoe to allow them to get through into the middle of the mountain. It was bloody scary, but not as scary as the miner's lamp the guide had stuck together with duct tape with a battery hanging out.
That is superb. All right, let's talk sport. Tom Wren's in the studio with us. Huge price drop on the new Mitsubishi ASX from $34,990 drive away. Agostina Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes. Morning, you ready?
Morning, boys. Funny old weekend footy-wise, wasn't it? No Crows, no Port. That might start the first of the losers. The AFL fixturing over the weekend, just bizarre.
Some good games, though. What about Carlton?
Well, they're one of my winners.
I'm totally on them.
Yeah,
good on them. It's good to see. They deserve it. Proud club.
Yeah, they're one of the winners. They've won 3 in a row now, and they beat Geelong, obviously, on Friday night. It was the game of the round, no doubt. Paddy Cripps with that mark with, 2 minutes to go to put them in front, and then they held on. So that was huge. I mean, with the draw they've got a bye. It's probably come at the worst time now. They've got a pretty good few weeks coming up. They can make the top 10. I think they could definitely get in.
What a story. I struggle to wrap my head around how the only thing that can change is the bloke that's put the magnets on the board, and yet in that amount of time, no pre-season, no nothing, they look like a different team.
Yeah, they do, don't they? Totally different team. FIVEAA, the other big winners I thought over the weekend. Losers in terms of the AFL, Brisbane and also Essendon. Essendon changed their coach. There's no immediate spike. They're miles off. They're just miles off. And locally, AFL fixturing I mentioned, the Eagles losers after losing 3 players in the mid-season draft. Yeah.
Like one of the absolute form sides of the competition. I saw them beat Sturt a few weeks ago. They were brilliant. It's amazing what happens when the bigger brother league's allowed to suddenly pinch your entire backline at a day's notice.
Yeah, it makes it hard, doesn't it?
It makes it bad for everyone who follows the SANFL.
The feeder leagues really suffer, and the SANFL are probably the one that suffer the most.
Should have been the marquee game of the round against Nord yesterday afternoon. It was total rubbish.
Yeah. Other losers, well, I'm sure you would have watched this yesterday, Pembo. You probably did too. The Socceroos, they went down 1-0. Pretty flat first half. Second half was better.
Stuff was an abomination.
Terrible. And I just wonder, Tony Popovic, I think he's a good manager, but he's very defence-minded.
I was going to say that literally this morning, Rennie. I was thinking, because I reckon we'll get a few people that are not soccer fans that'll jump on board for the World Cup, as is natural. It's a huge event. You'll have to support your country. For those of you who are AFL fans jumping on board to get on the Socceroos at the moment, just know the coach is Ross Lyon.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
He's had success.
Good analogy.
But he's never done it looking pretty. And that's how they're going to play.
That is how they're going to play. So Nestor Irankunda, who's probably their most flamboyant and attacking player, he'll start on the bench every game. He just won't start.
He didn't come on to the 80th minute.
Yep. And that's how he'll play him.
Matthew Leckie, I love Matthew Leckie. He's a wonderful servant for the Socceroos. As a 35-year-old, having only played 7 A-League games this past year, sending him out there against Mexico and in the World Cup furnace feels like a big ask physically for him.
Yeah. There are some attacking weapons they've got. Like Geordie Boss is so creative and really good.
Fantastic.
And, Mo Turo missed a shot. Hopefully he's missing those now in the warm-up games. That they have got some attacking flair there, but you're right. Because they only have to finish probably third to make it through, to avoid missing out, you just can't afford to get beaten like they did in against Germany 4-0. That's what Popovic is all about.
South Africa, the campaign was over.
The thing that's exciting,
by half-time of game 1.
Usually you get to the World Cup and you're picking, because it's a tournament, you might play and get 3 games, you're picking your best side, so age is no barrier. You don't typically pick a young side. The Socceroo, the quality of this side is remarkable, the youth of it. There's guys under, you mentioned Geordie Boss is probably our most talented player at the moment.
Yep.
23. Under his age, so 22, you've got Lucas Harrington, who's 18, who started yesterday. Chiacati, who's 20-odd. He's captained his team in Italy. You've got, you mentioned Irakunda. You mentioned Toure. You got Volpardo as well. These guys are all These guys this will probably be their first of 3 World Cups
Yep.
if their careers go the way. That's half your starting 11 potentially. There's six guys in that category. It makes me concerned about this World Cup, but optimistic for the future.
Yeah, it is bright, isn't it? The horizon's
Yes.
really bright. Like it's the beginning for, the nucleus of that team for the next 10 years. So
On the upside, El Excelsior de Mexico, the main newspaper in Mexico, is saying they were unimpressed with Mexico's debut and that they're going to need to work a hell of a lot harder than that.
Yeah,
so no one's happy.
They don't rate us.
Yeah, that's right.
They definitely don't rate us.
Hey, just breaking news on the Socceroos front. Have you seen this, Rennie, that the Socceroos have finalised the squad for the World Cup?
They were going to do that, so
it's just come
26-man squad.
Our man Joe Gauchi's missed out, unfortunately, from
that's
here in Adelaide.
disappointing.
Brandon Borello, Kai Rolls, and Martin Boyle are the last cuts. That's rough.
Oh, that is rough. Just quickly, Adelaide Thunderbirds, they're big winners. They're top of the table. Great win yesterday. Royal Challengers, Tim David and Josh Hazelwood won the IPL title, along with Virat Kohli. We say that through gritted teeth. And the San Antonio Spurs through to the NBA Finals, a big win.
Yeah, good on you, Rennie.
OKC. Good on you, boys.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and windy today, a top of 20 with the 6:30 news. Good morning, I'm Matthew Pantelis.
Had a collision? Get in touch with Premier Panel Services and have your car returned to its former beauty.
The Outer Harbour, Port Dock and Grange rail lines are out of action this morning due to an incident at Woodville. There's no specific reason given for trains not running, and there are no substitute buses to replace them yet either. An opinion poll shows One Nation is cementing its position as a major political force in Australia. The latest Redbridge poll showing the minor party now has a primary vote of 31%, edging out Labor and the Coalition. The research showing most voters don't have faith in either of the major parties to improve the country's outlook. And Pauline Hanson facing criticism over her parliamentary attendance. Figures showing the One Nation leader has been absent from 88% of Senate estimate hearing days since her return to Parliament in 2016. The Senator telling the Australian newspaper she doesn't attend the hearings regularly because bureaucrats won't answer her questions. The state government is introducing tax exemptions for people fleeing domestic violence. Victims of domestic, sexual and family violence will be eligible for the homeowner's grant even if they've previously owned property. They'll also qualify for a 100% stamp duty relief. Domestic Violence Minister Alice Rolls says a woman leaving a violent partner often does so with very few resources and sometimes next to none.
It's about what we can do as a state government to make things easier for people who are fleeing domestic violence situations. And if we can remove one tax burden for them, we're keen to do that.
A former South Australian senator claims Australia's revised AUKUS deal with the US shouldn't come as a surprise. Our country, originally due to purchase a mix of new and second-hand Virginia-class submarines from America, will now acquire used submarines from the same production block instead. Rex Patrick doesn't believe we'll ever see the subs.
Anyone who has bothered to look into the US submarine industrial base have known that we were never going to get, or we are never going to get, Virginia-class submarines for the Royal Australian Navy.
Data shows older Australians are still waiting up to 8 months to receive home care help, despite some big improvements in the aged care system. More than 79,000 ongoing places for the Support at Home program were released in the first 3 months of this year. New research shows looming super payday reforms have strong community support. A Super Members Council survey finding 98% of Australians are glad to see employers required to pay into their accounts at the same time wages are received. Super Member Council Chief Executive Misha Schubert says the changes will work to reduce the silent pay cut of underpaid super.
It's going to be really great for 1 in 4 workers across the country who's missing out on some of the super they've earned, but it also means that there'll be a level playing field for every employer who's already making those efforts and doing absolutely the right thing by their staff.
Today marks the beginning for Brisbane's Olympic legacy, with work to officially begin on the Olympic Stadium for 2032. But as Lachlan Gray reports, opponents say the Victoria Park Stadium battle isn't over yet.
Fences are up, machinery is in, and the sod will be turned on Brisbane's 63,000-seat stadium today after protesters were moved on from the site overnight. Police are still patrolling the park, with the anti-stadium contingent now setting up camp in another part of Victoria Park still open to the public. The protest drew crowds in their hundreds over the weekend, but legal avenues are rapidly running thin. 2 applications for cultural protection have already been rejected by the federal government. 5 still remain under consideration, but even if they're successful, construction will still go ahead.
Turning to 5AA Sport.
Huge price drop on new Mitsubishi ASX from $34,990 drive away. Agostino, Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Matty. The Socceroos squad has been finalised and South Aussie Joe Gauchi has unfortunately missed out, as has Martin Boyle. The Socceroos lost their friendly to Mexico. That was 1-0 yesterday. The World Cup starts in a couple of weeks. Well, Dean Solomon admits he's switched off his social media after taking the reins as Essendon coach. Eddie Summerfield reports.
Harley Reid was at his dominant and physical best as West Coast recorded its 4th win of the year, beating Essendon by 30 points. Dean Solomon's first game in charge as interim coach, insisting the sideshow of James Hurd's potential return as far as possible from his thoughts.
I honestly have shut down with all my social media.
It's as Giants assistant Brett Montgomery described the Bombers' hunt for Brad Scott's replacement as more shut than open. GWS beating Melbourne by 49 points in Alice Springs to move into the top 10.
Yeah, the Crows and Port, they'll be back in action this week after they had the bye over the weekend. And in some tennis news, Iga Swiatek is out of the French Open. The 4-time champion going down in straight sets to Ukrainian Marta Kostyuk. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now 5AA's forecast.
This long weekend, check out the new beer garden at the Mosaic Hotel, Footy Park Precinct, West Lakes.
Showers windy today and tomorrow, 20 today, 18 tomorrow. Showers for Wednesday and Thursday, both 16, and they'll ease on Friday, 16 as well. Right now it's 13, 5AA, always Adelaide.
Formula Honda's end of financial year event is on now, with great offers right across the Honda range. Receive price reductions of up to $2,000 on selected 25-built Honda CR-Vs. Premium engineering, exceptional value, a standard that's a cut above the rest. This is the end of financial year event, only from Formula Honda, and only while stocks last. Visit Formula Honda at Glen Osmond Road, Glen Osmond, or North East Road, Modbury, and book your test drive today. See honda.com.au for T's and C's.
Life happens fast. That's why Bendigo Bank is bigger for making it easy to open an account in minutes right from your phone. Find us in the App Store today. Bendigo Bank, the better big bank. Eligibility criteria, terms and conditions apply.
Moving a house and need a truck, or planning your next family holiday, or maybe your car's out of action and you need a reliable replacement. Whatever you need to do or wherever you need to go, think Red Spot Car Rentals.
The team at Red Spot has got you covered. Red Spot's been named Product Review's 2026 Car Hire Service of the Year, and that's voted by you, the customers.
And that's because Red Spot proudly offers transparent pricing, genuine old-fashioned service, and a new fleet of vehicles, including an impressive hybrid range.
You can rely on Red Spot. Book your next rental direct at redspot.com.au today or call 1300 66 8810.
Get ahead of winter with comfy credits from Origin. Move with Origin and you could get up to $200 in bill credits. That's $100 for natural gas and $100 for electricity, keeping you comfy and in control this winter. That's all kinds of useful. Search Origin today. New and moving residential customers only. Sign up by 30th of June and stay until 30th of June. Bill credit includes GST. T's and C's and eligibility apply.
1-800-Medicare, you're speaking with a registered nurse. How can I help?
Hi, my daughter's got a fever that's not going down. I'm not sure what to do.
My GP's not available on weekends, so I don't know who to call.
The internet says it could be a few different things.
Ask 1-800-Medicare for free, non-emergency health advice, 24/7 from registered nurses, connecting you to the right care for your health concern. Call 1-800-633-422, authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
20 to 7. The Weather Bureau coming up very shortly with some very important information. I think for most of South Australia that's going to experience a pretty decent old drink over the course of the next 48 hours. There's wind weather warnings around as well, but we'll tease all that out with the Weather Bureau very, very shortly. Remember, you can tune into the live stream at any point over the course of the morning. That's on Facebook and YouTube. The beauty, I think, on YouTube, you don't even have to have an account. You just literally, you don't have to sign up or anything. You just watch along.
Talk to me about having an account. I reckon Paramount is a total rip-off. Like, we got that a few weeks ago to watch a soccer game, and then I cancelled it the other day, and then I went, oh, hang on, the only way you can watch the friendly is by using Paramount. So, and then I checked that the cancellation, because you sort of pay a month ahead, my account doesn't expire till like June 15. So we set it up, restarted it yesterday. The malarkey, the process of going through it, though, you got to put in a parental control pin. I didn't know watching a soccer match was like watching Apocalypse Now, so I had to keep typing in this damn pin. But I kept getting that spinning wheel.
Yeah.
You think, why am I paying so much money for this stupid service? It's so unreliable.
Rubbish. Yeah, that's not good enough in this day and age. Step up to end homelessness. Walk a mile in my boots. Register or donate today. walkamile.org.au. Sponsoring the live stream this week, where you will have no such issues with buffering. The architecture of YouTube is absolutely fantastic, so it will hold up under all sorts of strain. If you'd like to jump on board and watch, you can do so, and know in the process you're helping to end homelessness with the wonderful people from Walk a Mile. Maybe flick them a couple of bucks to walkamile.org.au. Lots of text coming through, which we'll get to in a moment. A few people with stories about dangerous things that they've done for fun. But before we get there, let's talk about the weather. But instead of looking just forward for the next 40 hours, look forward over the course of the next couple of months. Darren Ray is an Adelaide-based independent climatologist. And Darren, we're in the middle of a conversation about it being cold and wet and miserable. You've crunched the numbers on what's going to happen in August and think it could actually be unseasonably warm. Good morning to you.
Yeah, g'day, guys. So I've been monitoring and doing seasonal outlook stuff for quite a while with the Bureau of Meteorology. But I'm out on my own now for the last few years in terms of seasonal outlook stuff. What we're seeing shaping up through this year is a shift into a pattern called El Nino, which is a pattern of year-to-year variability that we can see in the Pacific Ocean. And so you basically changes in the ocean temperatures in the Pacific, out in the central eastern Pacific, so out near Tahiti and across to South America. And so basically what we're expecting, what we're seeing in the modelling for quite a few months now, is things to really warm up in the central eastern Pacific. And in El Nino events, it cools off in the western Pacific near us. So that reduces the amount of moisture available for rain, and we get less cloud, and so we tend to get hotter and drier conditions. And there's an opposite phase called La Nina. So the names come from South America, where the fishermen noticed this year-to-year variability in the oceans that impacted their fishing operations off Peru. So La Nina is girl child, and El Nino is boy child. So it's pattern of year-to-year variability. Now, the thing is, a lot of the climatologists have been watching this potential for a really, really strong event, El Nino event this year. And that's shaping up to start off, as they typically do, around about sort of June, July, August. And then they go through peak in December. Then they go back to neutral conditions through sort of March, April the following year. So the centre of the action is off in the Pacific, but it does really impact Australia. And, we tend to get very hot, dry springs and summers in El Nino conditions.
Have you seen the forecast in Europe at the moment, Darren? Like, summer hasn't even properly started there, and there's already been heat-related deaths. It's like 40 degrees already in Spain.
Yeah, so obviously keeping an eye on that as well. And so it is a climate influence that is centred in the Pacific, but it does have global impacts. So there's every chance that what we're seeing we are seeing some of the early signs of El Nino shift towards El Nino in the sort of atmospheric and ocean patterns. And so there's every chance that what we're seeing in Europe is a little bit of is related to what we're seeing. And we are seeing some of the changes here in Australia as well. So a lot of farmers monitor what's something called the Southern Oscillation Index, which is a measure of what's going on with El Nino and La Nina. And we're seeing that shift into negative Southern Oscillation Index values, which indicates El Nino. And that's happened since mid-March. So we're seeing some of the early signs. The ocean temperatures are warming up really strongly in the Central Eastern Pacific. And so we're what we're basically raising the flag about is there's shifts in the odds pretty strongly towards a very hot and dry spring and summer, so warmer than average winter, drier than average winter, and that's got some really potential impacts on bushfire risk and things like that.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it's going to be an interesting weather period ahead, Darren. Thank you for that. Darren Ray, Adelaide-based independent climatologist.
It's an interesting weather pattern we're in right now. Michael Efron at the Bureau of Meteorology joins us. Michael, just take us through what's going to hit South Australia over the course of the next 48 hours.
Good morning. Yeah, we've got a lot of wet and windy weather on the way. There is a severe weather warning current for all of the Adelaide metropolitan area and into the hills as well. Those westerly winds really picking up through this afternoon and into the evening. We could see gusts around 90 kilometres an hour. Those showers increasing as well, looking at 3 to 10 millimetres, but about the hills we could see some higher falls as well. It will be relatively mild even with those showers and winds up to 20 degrees today. On Tuesday, we'll see those winds continue, but should start to ease through the late afternoon into the evening. A low of 13, a top of 18, further 5 to 15 millimetres expected. Wednesday, further showers up to 16 degrees. Thursday, showers continuing once more up to 16. And then towards the end of the week, those showers starting to ease. Friday up to 16. Saturday, just a light shower or two around 18. And then next Sunday, looking settled with northerly winds developing, a top of 19 degrees.
Good stuff, Michael. Thanks for that. Michael Efron there from the Weather Bureau.
All right, let's head to SAPOL. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad joins us. Kimberly, we got a note earlier that the trains aren't running at Woodville. Is that something that's come across your desk?
Yeah, that's right. Police and emergency services are currently at the scene of a serious crash after a person was struck by a train at Woodville this morning. That incident occurred about 5:50 near Hughes Street at Woodville. So at this time, we've got boom gates at the level crossing at Woodville Road. They remain down and traffic is blocked. So motorists are asked to take a different way to work this morning, and it is also affecting those trains as well. So morning commuters to be aware that the trains are currently not running on the Outer Harbour, the Grange and the Pork Dock lines until further notice.
Kimberly, also, there was a serious crash overnight at Holden Hill.
Yeah, it was just after 5:30. We were called to the intersection of North East Road and Tartan Roads after a three-car crash. Now, two occupants of a Mitsubishi sedan, an 83-year-old man and his 82-year-old female passenger, both from Valley View, they were taken to hospital, along with the driver of a Lexus SUV, a 55-year-old man from Gillis Plains. Now, the 83-year-old man from Valley View did sustain serious injuries in that crash, and major crash investigators attended the scene. But they're just asking if anybody witnessed it, and they haven't yet spoken with police, if they could give us a call on the Crime Stoppers number 1800 333 000.
Good stuff, Kimberly. Thanks for that. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad from SAPOL.
All right, let's check traffic for the first time this morning.
Thanks, Will, and morning, David. A few showers rolling through this morning. That'll be with us most of the morning. Take it easy on the drive. Morford Vale, Carvey traffic light, Beach Road near the Southern Expressway. Elizabeth South, Burst Watermain, Phillip Highway near Oldham Road. And McGill Urgent Sewer work today, McGill Road near Penfold Road. Camera, Main North Road, Blarathel. Snooze, end of financial year sale is on now. Up to 40% off selected bed frames, plus for a limited time only. Take an extra 10% off selected bed frames on already reduced prices. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The energy today, the amount of people who got up before dawn, walking 1 mile in the shoes of someone that has nothing.
Step up to end homelessness. Walk a mile in My Boots. Register or donate today.
$100 gift card for every $1,000 you spend. Monthly credit card fee currently $10.95 applies. New customers must be approved. Minimum finance $1,000. Equal monthly payment plan, T's and C's, charges and product exclusions. Harvey Norman half-yearly clearance on now.
At Specsavers Audiology, your ears won't get ripped off by our hearing aids. Whew. You'll find the tech and style that's right for you, with something for every price range, and 12 months of aftercare with every purchase. Compare your pair at Specsavers Audiology. T's and C's apply.
At The Advertiser, we help you get ahead of the issues affecting your family, from cost of living and health to schools and local news. We're for Adelaide, we're for South Australia, and we're for you.
Got something big to budge? Budget with Budget. Little trucks, big trucks. You can do it all in a budget rental truck. Get exactly what you need and at a great price too. So remember, whatever you've got to budge, budget with a budget rental truck. Budget car and truck rental. Call 13 27 27. That's 13 27 27.
Budget with a budget rent-a truck. It's quick and cheap. Well, half your luck when you budget with a budget rent-a truck.
Next time you've got scrap metal piling up in the workshop, out in the yard, or hiding in that corner every business pretends not to see, take it to Nor Metals. They'll turn scrap into cash. Old batteries, PVC cables, radiators, industrial scrap, steel, aluminium, copper or brass, Nor Metals in Ottaway will take it away, free up space and top up your petty cash. Plus, a tidy site is a safer site, especially when it comes to scrap metal. Nor Metals. Cash for scrap. It's that easy.
Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
9 to 7, request from the production booth, given the weather that we're going to be talking about over the next 2 days. Has anyone got any favourite weather-inspired songs? Songs about weather, songs that feature the weather? I think it would help Paddy and Em out a lot this morning, your suggestions, so get them coming through on 8223 0000 or text us through on 0448 08 1395. You can think outside the box as well, of course. Songs related to the weather. We'd love to get your input. You might just hear them over the course of the morning. Now, let's try and disentangle what is the most confusing story in the world right now. What exactly is the state of the negotiations between the United States and Iran and the potential unblocking of the Straits of the Strait of Hormuz, and indeed all that goes with that particular conflict? Dr. Jessica Genauer is the Academic Director of the Public Policy Institute at the University of New South Wales. Dr. Genauer, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. We have tried and failed on many an occasion now to interpret what imminent means in the context of these negotiations. Where are we at right now?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we've been in a sort of a similar situation for quite a few weeks now, which is that the stable factor is that the ceasefire between the US and Israel on one hand and Iran on the other is holding. So even though we've seen some sort of tit-for-tat strikes around the tensions over the Strait of Hormuz primarily, we have seen that this ceasefire is holding, and it looks like it's going to continue to hold because ultimately it's really in the interest of both sides that it does hold. Now, at the same time, we're seeing this back and forth between the Iranian regime and the Trump administration, where they're trying to get out some kind of agreement or deal, but really not managing to even get as far as a sort of one-page memorandum, which we've been told is coming, which would essentially really just be most likely an agreement to keep talking or an agreement to keep discussing or to make sure the ceasefire holds for another couple of months whilst they try to get a more serious agreement.
Dr. Genauer, what did you make of the comments by the President last week about how he might bomb Oman? Because some people initially seemed to think that he just got confused and he was talking about Iran and accidentally said Oman. But then it did sound like he did specifically want to single them out.
Yeah, it can be tricky to know with President Trump. I mean, if he was making a serious comment, you know, I mean, on the one hand, it's dangerous to say, oh, that's just Trump's kind of extreme rhetoric. He doesn't really mean it. He just sort of talks off the cuff. You know, it's not really something he would seriously consider. But there's sort of something dangerous about saying that because, of course, if, you know, the President of the United States is in any way seriously considering bombing Oman, that's completely, you know, off the pale in terms of being an outrageous suggestion. I mean, the US is not in any way at war with Oman. They're quite close partners, in fact, in terms of economic and security partners. So, yeah, that was sort of one of the collections of things that we've seen Trump saying over the course of this war that have been confusing, added to the kind of lack of clarity around what is actually going on. At the same time, we've seen Trump again also threatening to go back to bombing Iran and the Iranian regime, even though I don't think that's actually going to take place. But again, it's adding to this kind of lack of certainty. And at the same time, we're not really getting necessarily closer to agreement on the really core, tricky issues that seem to be driving the key sticking points between Iran and the US.
Dr. Genno, I'm not too sure whether you agree with this framing or not, but it's certainly been postured that there is a variable that's creating urgency on the US side, and that's the midterm elections coming up later this year. So that sort of doesn't create a hard deadline, but it's something that would be politically convenient for the US to get things kicking along in advance of. Is there a similar time pressure on the Iranian side, or can they, obviously not politically, but is there something else that's ticking that would get them to the table and with an urgency to complete a deal?
So there isn't one sort of specific timeline on the Iranian side, but certainly the Iranian regime, whilst they've survived this full-on, military operation from the US, they're certainly under a lot of economic pressure. And the Iranian regime, they're pretty tough. They're doubling down. They've, if anything, become more extreme in many ways as a result of this war and some of the top leadership being killed. And then we have even more hardline people sort of rising up the ranks and taking leadership. But at the same time, they would not be able to withstand the kind of economic pressure that they are currently under for more than, I would say, a few more months. So they know they have a bit of a timeline there. They're willing to sort of go back and forth with Trump. They don't want to look weak. They do not want to look like they're capitulating to the US. That's really critical to them in terms of their domestic messaging within the Iranian context. But whilst they might have weeks to play with, they couldn't keep this up for more than a few more months.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Great analysis as always. We always love having you on, Dr. Genno. Dr. Jessica Genno there from the Academic Director of the Public Policy Institute at UNSW.
We had a request from Paddy and Em. They wanted some help with some weather songs, given the discussion about weather this morning. Di in Underdale, you've got a song for us?
I certainly have. It's got to be Imagine Dragons and Thunder.
Thunder, yeah, that's a very modern one.
I don't know that one.
You'd have heard it. You'd have definitely heard it before. What does it gets used in sport? Is there a sport promo it gets used on? I'm not sure. Mike in Nord, good morning.
G'day, Dave. Well, 1971 opens with Thunder, Jim Morrison, The Doors, Riders on the Storm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so well produced, that song. Just amazing song.
Here we go. Really Thunder, Imagine Dragons.
Oh, yeah.
Good nominations. I can see now why we were asking for your nominations. That's because
the top 7 before 7.
We've got top 7 before 7. In the 7th spot.
Raindrops keep falling on my head, but that doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red.
Raindrops keep falling on my head. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid had a whole section of the movie that was set to this.
That's right.
Quite famously. That's in the number 7 spot. Top 7 weather songs before 7 o'clock this morning. Spit in the Rain by Del Amitri is in 6th position. I'm not familiar with that one.
They're from
Scottish
Scotland.
band, apparently.
Yeah.
Paddy's looking after his Scottish.
Kiss This Thing Goodbye was their big hit, wasn't it?
He's looking after his Scottish heritage. Number 5 spot.
Here comes the rain again.
Is this like the top 7 songs by Scottish performers about rain?
Eurythmic Scottish, are they?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Scottish. I'm pretty sure she's Scottish.
That's excellent. In the number 4 spot.
November Rain.
This is good. Rain begins to feature a bit heavily in this part, so that's the number 4 spot. The number 3 spot we have. One of the great Super Bowl halftime concerts, actually, Prince. I've never been a Prince fan, but that was unbelievable when he played Purple Rain at that.
We saw Prince in Sydney, and he was really bad. He was really up himself. He started playing a bit of Raspberry Beret, and then he stopped, and then he started playing a bit of Controversy, then he stopped, and he did this thing where he went, too many hits. So he played like 10 bits of all the songs we wanted to hear.
Too many hits.
Then he played Purple Rain for 1 hour. Like, he was just standing there doing this noodle fest. It was like, Come on, Prince. We're here to hear controversy in 1999.
I prefer Prince playing basketball. Here we go. I think this would be my number one. This is number two. Fogarty wrote about they felt that was the summer before the band broke up.
Yeah.
And he was sort of feeling melancholy and wrote that song about with the impending breakup of the band. And in number one... Always slot your feedback, 8223 0000, or text us on 0480 1395. Turned into a bit of a Scottish fest, which is why it's attracted Andy and Henley Beach. Morning, Andy.
Lads, good morning. How are you?
Good, mate.
Thanks, Andy.
All right, Scotland's going through a wee bit of a heat wave at the moment, and let's face it, anything over -2 is a heat wave. So, I'm from Glasgow, but the other side will no mention, there's a place called Leith. Proclaimers, sunshine on Leith.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
There you go. You guys did write songs about the sun as well.
Yeah.
Perfect. Good on you, Andy. Thank you. We're going to take a break. 5AA News is coming up. Back in a moment.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
The news and information that matters. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and windy 20 today with the 7 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Matthew Pantos.
Need a crash repairer you can trust? FIVEAA Panel Services delivers expert care to you and your vehicle.
A person's been hit by a train between the Woodville and Woodville Park railway stations, shutting down all train services to and from Outer Harbour, Grange and Port Dock this morning. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad says motorists at Woodville have been affected as well.
So at this time we've got boom gates at the level crossing at Woodville Road. They remain down and traffic is blocked. So motorists are asked to take a different way to work.
There are no substitute buses running yet either. Another opinion poll shows One Nation cementing its position as a major political force in Australia. The latest Redbridge survey shows the minor party has edged ahead of both Labor and the Coalition with a primary vote of 31%. The research also finding most voters don't have faith in either of the major parties to improve the country's outlook. Labor Minister Amanda Rishworth telling Today her party is focused on governing.
For the Labor Party, we are firmly focused on making sure that we're delivering our tax cuts, delivering better wages for people.
The mother of murdered British backpacker Peter Falconio has made a rare plea for help to find her son's body. The 28-year-old killed by Bradley John Murdoch in 2001 while he was travelling with his girlfriend between Alice Springs and Darwin. Joan Falconio telling News Corp she fears she'll die before her son is found. Search crews still working to find 2 other men feared missing in a flooded cave in Laos following the successful rescue of 4 others. A group searching for gold in the cave when they became trapped by floodwaters more than 10 days ago. It's understood 2 others may still be trapped somewhere in the cave system. Adelaide cave diver Josh Richards says crews are racing against time to reach the missing pair.
Having a map from the miners who were rescued yesterday, we now know that there's a passage beyond. It sounds like it's even tighter and more unpleasant.
Polling shows housing affordability and concerns about the world's future are putting many Australians off having kids. The Resolve Political Monitor survey finding 1 in 4 women aged 18 and 45 say they won't have children. Most of those who intend to have kids say they'll have fewer than past generations. Eligible leukemia patients will have access to $25 scripts for 2 new treatments. Their listings expanded on the pharmaceutical benefit scheme. Over 1,200 people expected to benefit from the expansion. Investigations in Western Australia continue after a drug bust at a Fremantle port where more than 30 kilograms of cocaine was found hidden in a luxury bus. Jack Fennick with more.
Border Force officers inspected the bus in Fremantle on the 6th of May, locating approximately 30 packages all concealed within the roof of the vehicle. Testing on the packages returned a positive result for cocaine with a weight of around 34 kilos. Had the cocaine reached Australian shores, it had an estimated street value of $11 million with the potential for 170,000 street-level deals. Investigations remain ongoing.
Carrying Historic Hill will light up this winter with the William Morris Winter Wonderland taking over the historic house and gardens in July. Inspired by Morris's designs, the immersive nighttime experience will bring the historic house to life through large-scale animated projections and visual storytelling between July 9 and 26. Turning to 5AA Sport.
Huge price drop on new Mitsubishi ASX from $34,990 drive away. Agostino, Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes.
And Tom Wren, the Socceroos are ready to go when it counts.
They absolutely are. Some breaking news too, Matty. Exciting times for a new-look Socceroo squad with 17 World Cup first-timers locked in. Eddie Summerfield reports.
Matt Ryan will captain the 26-man squad, leading Australia into his 4th World Cup. He and Matthew Leckie equalling Tim Cahill's national record. As many as 17 players could make their World Cup debut. Christian Volpato switching his allegiance from Italy to Australia to make the squad. Head coach Tony Popovic thanking players who were part of qualification but didn't make the cut. The Socceroos now looking to turn their form around after yesterday's 1-0 loss to Mexico. A friendly against Switzerland next weekend before their campaign begins against Turkey the following week.
Round 12 is complete in the AFL and West Coast steady improve has continued with a 30-point win against Essendon at home. The result sees the Eagles jump up to 15th on the ladder, leapfrogging Port Adelaide, who they host this coming Saturday night. There was one other game yesterday, GWS smashing Melbourne by 49 points in Alice Springs. Let's go to netball. The Adelaide Thunderbirds are a game clear on top of the table following a comprehensive 19-goal win. That was against the Melbourne Vixens. The T-Birds smashed the Vixens 61-42 and are now almost guaranteed to finish in top spot with only 2 games left to play in the minor round. And in some tennis, Jakub Mensik is through to the quarterfinals of the French Open following an epic 5-set win against Andrei Rublev, which just wrapped up in the last 10 minutes or so. Mira Andreeva is also through on the women's side, but a huge upset with Iga Swiatek going down in straight sets to Marta Kostyuk. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thank you, Tom. Now checking the roads around Adelaide this winter's morning.
Morning there. Roads are wet due to passing showers. Be damp all day today. Take it easy on the drive. Morpher Vale, covered traffic light. Beach Road in the Southern Expressway. Woodville, Boomgate's down there. Woodville Road closed. The railway line near Russell Terrace. That'll be pretty big delays throughout the morning there. And McGill, urgent sewer works. McGill Road near Penfold Road. Camera Trimmer Parade Seaton. Congested roads, overflowing the schools and hospitals. Zero immigration. Australia needs a new deal. Newdeal.au. Authorised by Clive Palmer for the United Australia Party Gold Coast. Adelaide's most accurate traffic. I'm 5AA.
This long weekend, check out the new beer garden at the Mosaic Hotel, Footy Park Precinct, West Lakes.
Showers and windy today and for tomorrow. 20 today, 18 tomorrow. Showers for Wednesday and Thursday, both 16. They'll ease on Friday, also 16. Right now it's 13. 5AA, always Adelaide.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
Knockdown, build 2 with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Well, it's dark and it's cool and it's wet. And guess what? It's winter because it's the 1st of June on this Monday morning. Feels appropriate the winter starts on a Monday. It's not all doom and gloom. We had a lot of fun with our top 7 before 7 weather-related songs. Bit of pushback, David, on the text line from people saying there was no Crowded House.
And also no Supertramp. It's raining again. I was disappointed there was no Irma Thomas. It's raining in my heart. I love that song. But yeah,
I thought you were going to hit us with something way more obscure than that.
Do you know that song?
No. I figured there was a late 80s punk rock band that was about to get a mention.
No. Just a bit of New Orleans soul. Rick and Aldinga Beach as well, saying where's the Zimmerman, Bob Dylan? No hard rain's going to fall.
Oh, that was an omission.
Yeah. Paddy had to get all the Scottish artists in, didn't he?
He did. We're going to have to keep an eye on these top 7s to see if they stacked in favour of Scots.
Best 7 goals ever kicked by Celtic players.
I think if Paddy did that, our former producer would actually storm the building.
Oh, yeah.
Stacey Lee coming up after 7:30 this morning. We will talk politics with Stacey. Remarkable poll out last night, Redbridge poll that had One Nation comfortably the most popular party in Australia right now.
Meaning the next federal election, if that poll held up for another couple of years, and, a lot can happen in a couple of years, but spin it around the other way, if the election was held next Saturday, it would basically be Anthony Albanese versus Pauline Hanson trying to win a lower house seat. She said yesterday she's up to the job of becoming Prime Minister. And clearly right now, on the numbers, most Australians kind of agree.
31% of first preferences One Nation would win if an election was held today, according to Redbridge.
Well, not most Australians, but the highest number of Australians backing any party is One Nation.
28% to the ALP and 20% to the Liberal National Party. So I'm sure that'll get a mention with Stacey a little bit later. And Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop, already been on the blower with Paddy. We've been talking with Bronte about what he saw over the weekend. Real estate rise, really interesting stuff happening out there. Bronte Manuel before 8 o'clock. But nothing is more interesting than the weather this morning. Severe wind warnings. We've got a stack of rain for Metro Adelaide over the course of the next 48 hours, but nothing compared to what we're going to see in regional South Australia, with up to 60 millimetres in some areas over the next day or two. Ian Benithan has been busily preparing the state for the weather. He is the State Duty Officer at the SES. Ian, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you today?
We're good, thank you, Ian. We were talking at the start of the show, some of the mayhem in Perth with 30,000 homes still out of power, waiting to have the power put back on. Do you think that could be a bit of a sneak preview of what we can expect, Ian?
Oh, we've got our fingers crossed that's not the case. You do never know. Mother Nature, she puts on some wild scenes sometimes. So, yeah, we're just hoping that that's not going to be the case.
So what are the sort of main areas of concern, or the areas where you sort of feel the need to be most vigilant at the moment, Ian?
It's really along the coastal waters. So it's including the Eyre Peninsula, Yorke Peninsula, the southeast metro waters, and also Kangaroo Island. So all across that sort of from the mid-north down is where we're expecting all of the activity.
And what about in the metropolitan area? It doesn't sound like it's going to be quite as bad in suburban Adelaide as it is in country areas.
No, that's correct. We're looking at around winds, 15 to 20 kilometres per hour, maybe up to 40 kilometres per hour. So we're not looking at those extreme high winds, but we could still have some damaging gusts come through.
And how long do you reckon it's going to last for?
We're looking at this first cell to come through starting late this morning. That'll go through until Tuesday, and then we look like there might be another short one come through on Wednesday as well. So we're probably looking at maybe 3 days.
Good stuff, Ian. Thank you. Ian Benithan, the SES State Duty Officer. Get in touch with the SES if you do need assistance, of course. They do a wonderful job. Remember, all of the people that come out and help are volunteers, a remarkable organisation. We are getting some brave weather reports this morning from people who are out in the elements, like Mike, who in the first hour told us he's out walking the Dalmatians, blowing hard across Moriata Park. It's not particularly cold or wet, just windy this morning. Thank you for that, Mike. Any of our other listeners that are out there brave with their headphones in, if you want to give us a weather report, we'd love to hear it from certainly Oceanside. There's a bit of an expectation that we might see some spectacular wave action over the course of the next day or so.
And also warning that there might need to be sandbagging in some areas with higher than average tides expected. What did you make of the front page of yesterday's Sunday Mail, that story about Rundle Street, and the number of vacancies and how so many people aren't coming into the city anymore?
Well, it's a combination. It feels like a combination of factors, doesn't it? You've got working from home meets online shopping, meets cost of living squeeze. Like if you're trying to run a retail business in the city, I can't imagine what else can go wrong at this point.
I think car parking is a huge issue in people's minds. And it's not that Adelaide, by world standards or certainly by national standards, is prohibitively expensive. I mean, there's some cities in the world now, like, London, for example, you're not even allowed to take a car into the CBD. And if you do, there's special taxes for entering the city and all that sort of stuff. A lot of big world cities are trying to do everything they can to keep cars out. The problem is, though, everything's relative. So if you've got a choice between going to, a nice, expansive, open easy and free a shopping mall like Westlakes or Colonnades or Arndale, Tea Tree Plaza, even the new la-di-da revamped Burnside Village, versus drive down Frame Street, try to find a park on the street and go, oh, hang on, that's only 1 hour, might be longer than that. Then you get funneled into one of the car parks, some of which aren't that inviting. I mean, that one in the corner of Rundle Street and Pulteney Street, the public toilets there, my God.
Yeah.
I actually think one of the other problems in Adelaide now, because we went into the city Sunday week ago to go to one of the adventure stores to buy some rucksacks for the kids when the sales were on. And I was standing outside Hungry Jack's. I reckon I saw 10 people within 5 minutes who were clearly under the influence of meth. And it's bloody sad. Like, people skulking down alleyways, one guy with all his possessions in a trolley. A woman came up to me and was telling me she'd been followed by a fire engine. There was a fire engine going up the street. She was ranting about this fire engine. But all these poor souls just sort of all chewing, their jaws are all moving and their hands are waving around. Like, it just feels... And maybe it's because of the rise of work from home too. Means when there's fewer solid citizen office worker type people in the city, the people who are in the city out of having fallen through the cracks stand out even more.
I think that's quite a reasonable observation. I'd be interested to hear what our listeners think of this as well. Have you stopped going into the city? What stops you? Did you never go? What's your view of going into the city to do shopping, be it everything from a grocery to clothes shopping? 8223 0000. Let's just get the pulse of Adelaide this morning on this issue, because it's clearly bleeding through in terms of how many vacant shops there are in the city, in the Rundle Mall especially at the moment. So give us a buzz, 8223 0000. We'd love your interpretation of what is going on there. Let's talk about this wonderful event that we've got coming up in, how many days is it? 11 days away, Best of SA. Best of SA is...
Friday week.
11 days away, that's right. It's the 12th of June. I can't believe it's that close, at Adelaide Oval. And in the lead-up, we're giving away tickets and profiling some terrific South Australian businesses, like today's Alpha Industries.
Today, we are shining a light on Alpha Industries. Alpha Industries build premium Australian-made sheds and garages, fully managed from design to install without you lifting a finger. It sounds pretty good. Angela from Alpha joins me today. Angela, tell me, what makes Alpha Industries different from other shed and garage builders here in SA?
We're one of the few family-run businesses. We're fourth generation now, been around for over 40 years. We're in South Australia and we only use Australian blue scope steel.
And it's all about making the process really easy for your customers.
Yes, we want to simplify the process, take out the concerns our clients may have. Just give us a call with what you think you're after and our office staff will take care of it from there.
And what can a good shed or studio really do to enhance someone's lifestyle?
It's as simple as bringing people joy. They tell us, they go, wow, I now have so much more room in my house. I've got somewhere for the kids to be, maybe the husband, the grandma. It just makes life so simple.
And your customers don't even need to leave home to get the process started.
Just stay in the comfort of your home, give us a call, and we'll talk you through with Google Maps and all this new technology that's around and available to us. And our expert team will make it quite simple for you.
What's the ethos behind Alpha Industries? What's your aim for customers?
Our aim is for each customer to go away feeling that they've been respected, valued, and they've gotten what it was that they wanted. We're just family orientated, so there's no pushy salespeople. We're just here to make it work for everybody.
How good's a good shed?
It's a great shed.
For your chance to win a $100 Virginia Nursery voucher and 2 tickets to Best of SA, get calling Friday the 12th of June. Love to see you there on the big night. Alpha Industries providing locals with premium Australian-made sheds, garages, carports, verandas and granny flats. You can get a quote today. Ben of Glenelg will be getting along. Looking forward to seeing you there on the night. Ben will be also heading to grabbing a $100 Virginia Nursery voucher as well, which I reckon this is good weather for if you're a plant right now.
It certainly is. No shortage of water for you to drink. Text here from Andrew. One thing I've noticed with Rundle Street is that it's dirty, and also Rundle Mall for that matter. The paths and seats are covered in bird droppings. You can't sit down anywhere. Makes you wonder how often the council are cleaning the streets. Phil in Henley Beach says, shopping in the city, why would I when I can get free parking at West Lakes or at Harbour Town? And Bill in Glenelg says, I work Monday to Friday. I'd love to get into the city more using public transport, but why is Saturday still a peak fare rather than off-peak like it is in many other cities such as Sydney? Thank you for that, Bill.
Keep them coming through, 0480081395 or give us a buzz, 8223 0000. Let's check traffic.
Morning there. Roads are wet due to passing showers. Take it easy on the drive today. Woodville, Boomgate's down there. Woodville Road closed at the railway line this morning near Russell Terrace. Will be very slow through there this morning. Old Nollanga, a breakdown causing delays. Victor Harbour Road near Main South Road. And a burst water main today at Elizabeth South. Phillip Highway near Oldham Road. Camera, Hawker Street, Bowden. Make the most of tax time with Fantastic Furniture's biggest end of financial year sale. Shop office furniture, storage, sofas and more at great prices. Hurry, sale ends June 30. T's and C's apply.
The energy today, the amount of people who got up before dawn, walking 1 mile in the shoes of someone that has nothing.
Step up to end homelessness. Walk a mile in My Boots. Register or donate today.
At Master Builders Australia, the Property Council and REIA have done their own modelling with a vastly different prediction.
Graham Goodings.
They say the changes will increase rents by up to $477 a year. That's about $9 a week.
Weekday mornings from 9 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Every bathroom comes with a dark side. Mould. It sneaks into grout. But what if it had nothing to sneak into? What if you chose Mr. Wet Wall instead of tiles for your bathroom and wet areas? It costs less and there's no scrubbing grout. Because with Mr. Wet Wall, there is no grout. Just a smooth, stylish surface, easy to clean and stunning to look at. So why wouldn't you Mr. Wet Wall? MrWetWall.com.
For those whose pool is the main feature of their yard, Walco offer a special mesh cover to keep debris and leaves out while making your pool area look stunning all through winter. Join the great cover-up and ask Walco about their stylish new mesh pool covers. Walco.com.au.
Now, Aussies love the ocean. I tell you what, wouldn't this be a spot to be today? The sound of crashing waves, the sight of storms over the water, that's what life is all about.
And it's what Ocean Bar and Kitchen are all about, enjoying delicious dishes or just a drink with unbeatable views of Henley Beach from their beach balcony or through ceiling to floor glass walls.
Enjoy the sight, sounds and feel of the ocean, plus, this is where it gets good, the taste of a mouth-watering menu, including pasta, seafood and a huge range of cocktails and wines. Make sure you look up their weekday dinner specials throughout winter too, like their bottomless pasta Wednesdays and schnitzel special Thursdays.
The view at the moment with the waves and so forth, nice warm bowl of pasta, what a place to go. You add in live music on Fridays, the perfect destination for your next lunch, dinner, after work, drink or function. They cater for weddings, they'll do engagement parties, christenings, birthdays, you name it. They'll do it. Ocean Bar and Kitchen is located on the top of the Henley Surf Lifesaving Club. Enjoy Ocean Bar and Kitchen from 11 a.m. till late.
You can rent a little, you can rent a lot.
Whatever you're doing, wherever you're going, you can rely on Red Spot to get you there. We're the all-Aussie family-owned car rental company in airport terminals and cities across Australia, with a new fleet and plenty of hybrid options too. Experience the exceptional service that earned us Product Review's 2026 Car Hire Service of the Year. Book direct and save now at redspot.com.au today, or call 1300 66 8810.
Red Spot.
Outdoor living is part of the Australian way of life. A quiet coffee in the morning or a backyard barbecue with friends on the weekend. Alpha Industries helps create those spaces to relax and entertain with fully welded verandas, carports, sheds and studios designed to suit your home. From modern curved styles to classic heritage gables, everything is custom built using genuine Australian blue scope steel for strength and durability. Explore the range and ask for a quote today at alphaindustries.com.au.
50 scorching summers, 50 freezing winters, and only one Morford Air helped us through it all. Adelaide's own homegrown family air conditioning company, Morford Air, has kept South Australians cool and warm for over 50 years. That's half a century of comfort. So when it's too hot or cold to bear, reach for the Morford Air. morfordair.com.au.
Morford.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
25 after 7, Stacey Lee coming up after 7:30 this morning. We'll talk state politics with Stacey. Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop and the weekend's real estate picture not too far away. One thing that didn't appear over the weekend were the Crows or Port playing. There was no AFL footy. Stephen Rowe somehow still managed to lose his voice, so he's not available. So what we thought we would do this morning in the lead up to the World Cup and having the Socceroos just played yesterday is turn over the segment to the World Game. Robbie Cornthwaite, former Socceroo, my Channel 7 colleague, joins us on 5AA Breakfast. Robbie, we got everyone fired up, our listeners, to watch the Socceroos yesterday. I don't know how many made it through the first 45 minutes, though, because it was a bit of a bleak start against Mexico, wasn't it?
It certainly was. Good morning, gentlemen. Obviously, we know what Tony Popovic is like as a manager defensively, and there was certainly a few frustrated fans thinking, with the attacking talent that we have at our disposal, we should be going for it a little bit more and seeing what they're capable of. I'd probably go against the grain a little bit as an old centre back. I think I wasn't too disappointed with the way that they lined up. I think, you can certainly lose a game in the first half. You can't win it. So I don't think it's a bad tactic just to be a little bit safer in the first half. But certainly in the second half, we opened up a little bit and showed, what we were capable of against a Mexico side that did basically change their whole 11. So, we do want to see a little bit more on the front foot football. But overall, I don't think it was a bad preparation.
I think, too, I know the game was played in California, which used to be Mexican territory anyway, but it felt like they were playing it in Mexico City with the mariachi band, and I think we're outnumbered 20 Mexicans to one Aussie, Robbie. Hey, mate, can I ask you, as a former player, what did you make of this drinks break stuff, where they're all standing around for 3 minutes with their sippy cups? I found that really annoying.
Yeah, no, certainly. Before I get to that, I did play against Mexico once in San Francisco in an under-23s game, and there was about 70,000 there for, we're talking under-23 squads here, so it wasn't a heap of household names. But, yeah, the passion is certainly another level there. As for the drinks break, I think everyone who's a little bit cynical like me just thinks it's an opportunity for them to get an advert into the first half,
Totally.
obviously. Yeah, football is one of those games where throughout, the first half, the second half, there isn't any ad breaks. And in this day and age where the almighty dollar is what it's all about, I think they've found a way to create an opportunity to run a few ads. Certainly there is going to be games in Dallas where the weather is going to be extremely hot and, drinks breaks probably are required. They happen here in Australia as well when the temperature reaches a certain level. But I think, it's a nice excuse to just say we'll make it an even playing field and just add them into all the games. And certainly when they take the drinks break was a shock to me because yesterday in the second half, they took it in the 78th minute when there was literally the game was virtually over. You would think it'd be a mandatory sort of window, 20, 25 minutes into each half where you would take the break and not so late into the game, which that was probably the biggest surprise for me.
Robbie, no sporting team in this country does drama, I think, like the Socceroos, and we had a new chapter of it just before this game on the weekend with Christian Volpato switching allegiance from Italy to Australia. Now, he was born here. Both of his parents were born here. But it split Socceroos fans because this is a guy that said, I only want to play for Italy. He laughed at us during a qualification game that we didn't do so well as last time out. And on the eve of the World Cup, he says he wants to play. He's obviously a remarkable young talent. Where do you sit on the Christian Volpato debate?
I think to keep it real simple, I think you let him play. I think as much as, it's about pride at this level, you need the absolute best players available. And if you're Tony Popovic and you're wanting to win as many games as you can, keep your job, do the nation proud, you need your best players at your disposal. I wonder whether if South Aussie Riley McGree had been fit, whether or not that would have changed things, a very similar sort of type of player. But Graham Arnold called Volpato up 4 years ago and he said no. He, like you mentioned, Will, he laughed when we lost against Japan in an Asian Cup qualifier, and it was only March where he had said he was going to wait for Italy. So something has changed pretty quickly.
How'd that work out for him?
Yeah,
this guy's a bit of an nice
Italy.
surprise.
We know where our Italy.
Somebody loves Australia.
Yeah, it is a massive shock. We look at say AFL where we have all these one club players and what it is. To have that sort of pride to wear the one jersey. I do think in football we're constantly changing teams. There's players that have played for I don't know, 20, 30 different clubs sometimes, and even look at, our national team now, it's made up of, just to mention Harry Suter, who could have played for a number of different countries as well. It's not uncommon in football. The way it's happened is the disappointing thing, but I think let him play.
Hey, Robbie, it's great to chat with you, mate.
We should do it more during the World Cup.
It's good to have access to someone, former Socceroo,
totally
Adelaide guy, living and working here, but also you played for Tony Popovich as well. Like, no one has insight like Robbie, so great to chat with you, mate.
Thanks, boys. See you soon.
All right, right on 7:30, 5AA News, Stacey Lee next.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and windy 20 today with the 7:30 news. Good morning, I'm Matthew Pantelis.
Had a collision? Get in touch with FIVEAA Panel Services and have your car returned to its former beauty.
Motorists using Woodville Road at Woodville need to cross the rail line at Cheltenham or Kilkenny after a person was struck by a train at a pedestrian crossing near Hughes Street between the Woodville and Woodville Park railway stations. It has closed the line. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad says the accident occurred just before 6 this morning.
It is also affecting those trains as well. So morning commuters to be aware that the trains are currently not running on the Outer Harbour, the Grange and the Pork Dock lines until further notice.
The Weather Bureau says we should brace for potentially damaging winds today, along with heavy rains leading to flash flooding in the hills and southern suburbs. Michael Efron from the Bureau says the day will get rougher as we move through.
Westerly winds really picking up through this afternoon and into the evening. We could see gusts around 90 kilometres an hour. Those showers increasing as well, looking at 3 to 10 millimetres, but about the hills we could see higher falls as well. It will be relatively mild even with those showers and winds up to 20 degrees today.
The State Emergency Service is bracing for call-outs after the wild weather struck Perth yesterday, damaging properties and bringing down trees. State Duty Officer Ian Benithan says the winds will be widespread.
Along the coastal waters, so it's including the Eyre Peninsula, Yorke Peninsula, the southeast metro waters and also Kangaroo Island. So all across from the mid-north down is where we're expecting all of the activity.
A growing sense the country is heading in the wrong direction. It's helping fuel the One Nation surge in the polls. Federal political reporter Michael Packey.
The latest Redbridge poll, published in the Financial Review, shows core support for One Nation is now at 31%, eclipsing Labor on 28% and the Coalition on 20%. The research shows a majority of voters believe the country is heading in the wrong direction, and neither of the major parties have the ability to fix it. The sentiment is driven by the high cost of living and a poorly received budget. As the One Nation surge shows no sign of easing, party leader Pauline Hanson is considering a tilt at a lower house seat at the next federal election and quit her spot as a Queensland senator.
The state government is moving to financially help victims of domestic, sexual and family violence. The budget this week will offer a 100% exemption for victims who've been left homeless as a result of violence. Domestic Violence Minister Alice Rolls says the state government wants to help as many of these people as possible.
We know that houses are very expensive to purchase, and what we want to do is try and remove as much of the tax burden on women in particular, but all victims of domestic and family and sexual violence who are looking to re-establish themselves in the housing market.
The tourism industry is appealing to the foreign minister to lift travel warnings on a number of Middle Eastern airports. Dean Long, CEO of the Travel Industry Association, says it's leaving holidaymakers uninsured and unable to travel onto European destinations.
Really simply, Minister Wong today just needs to lower the advice for the airport itself from a level 4 to a level 3. It doesn't mean have a holiday, but it means you can transit.
Significant amounts of Russian timber is reportedly entering Australia tariff-free. The federal government imposed trade sanctions on the country following its invasion of Ukraine. The timber is being laundered through China and other countries to evade the taxes. Turning to 5AA Sport.
Huge price drop on new Mitsubishi ASX from $34,990 drive away. Agostino, Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes.
And with sport, Tom Wren.
Thank you, Matty. Let's start with some football. GWS assistant coach Brett Montgomery has
described Essendon's search for a new coach as more shut than open. Dean Solomon coaching his old club for the first time last night as West Coast dominated the Bombers in a 30-point win. Step-in captain Kyle Langford telling Seven it's been the club's inexperienced players driving the group since Brad Scott was sacked.
Unfortunately, I've been through it a few times. This might be my fourth coach. So, to the young, a lot of the young guys, it's a lot of unknown, but it's for them, they don't really know any difference. So they just want to play footy. They want to have fun.
One other game yesterday, GWS 49-point winners against Melbourne in Alice Springs. Well, the Socceroos squad's been finalised, featuring 17 players named for their first World Cup, while Matt Ryan and Matt Leckie have been named for their fourth World Cups, matching Tim Cahill's national record. To tennis, Alexander Zverev is one step closer to a major title, winning through to the quarterfinals at the French Open. Iga Swiatek has been knocked out after she lost in straight sets to the Ukraine's Marta Kostyuk. Well, Virat Kohli has put in a man-of-the-match performance to guide his Royal Challengers Bengaluru to the IPL title. One of Kohli's teammates, Josh Hazlewood, took 2 wickets to help restrict the Gujarat Titans to 8 for 155, and Kohli then blasted an unbeaten 75 off only 42 balls, including the winning boundary to see his side home.
That's it. It's back-to-back titles for RCB. They won it after 18 years. They win it in the 19th.
Audio there thanks to Fox. Tim David also chipped in for the winning side with a quick-fire 24 off 17 balls. And in some golf, the PGA tournament in Texas is headed for a playoff. Americans Eric Cole and Russell Henley both finishing at 12 under. The sudden death playoff is about to begin. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thank you, Rennie. Here's how your drive is going now to work and school this morning.
Right away, due to passing showers, take it easy on the drive. Bridgewater truck broken down the freeway down track near the Hahndorf Bridge. Woodville, boom gates down. Woodville Road closed to the railway line near Russell Terrace. That'll be big delays through there this morning. And McGill Urgent Sewer Works, McGill Road near Penfold Road. Camera, Hawker Street, Bowden. You can now book an RAA approved repairer online. Just head to the RAA website to find your local repairer. You know you can trust them because RAA do. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA's forecast.
This long weekend, check out the new beer garden at the Mosaic Hotel, Footy Park Precinct, West Lakes.
Showers windy today and for tomorrow too. 20 today, 18 tomorrow. Showers for Wednesday and Thursday, both 16, and showers easing Friday, also 16. Right now it's 14. 5AA, always Adelaide.
Is your outdoor area living up to its potential? If not, speak to Luba House and transform your outdoor area with an opening and closing roof that's ready for next summer. An SA family-owned business, Luba House do everything. Planning, design, council approvals, local manufacturing and installation, so you'll have peace of mind it's done right. Don't wait any longer. Find out more with a free design, measure and quote. Bring your outdoor area to life with Luba House. lubahouse.com.au.
The most frustrating thing about having your car repaired after a collision can be the wait. Sometimes months. At Premier Panel Services, the wait is one thing you won't have to worry about. We've expanded our workshop and our highly skilled team. It means we're better equipped to deliver an outstanding outcome for you and your car. RAA and MTA approved, Premier Panel Services work with most insurance companies. So ask for Premier Panel Services and get back on the road sooner.
Living with diabetes? Ditch finger pricks with Freestyle Libre. Freestyle Libre is a small wearable sensor that monitors your glucose levels and trends and sends them straight to your phone. Instant, up-to-date feedback. No finger pricks. How good is that? And you can trial Freestyle Libre for only $15. Just head to freestylelibre.com.au to find out how. T's and C's apply. Follow directions for use. Read warnings before purchase. Free yourself from finger pricks with Freestyle Libre.
Cybercrime doesn't just hit once. It creates flow-on effects. Effects on your data. Effects on your business systems. Effects on your cash flow, staff, reputation, livelihood. Protect your business against cyber threats with FX IT, spelt EFEX. Book your free cybersecurity audit now at fx.com.au/protect. Don't be the easy win for cyber criminals. Book your free audit now.
Great things begin with the right space. A space to work, a space to store, a space to create. Right now, build the space you've always wanted with Olympic Industries sheds, garages and outdoor storage designed for Australian lifestyles. Visit one of Olympic Industries' inspiration centres today and bring your space to life. Start something with the Olympic Industries sale. On now.
There's a moment every family hopes for. When you walk in and they're just happy, settled, themselves, and you realise the decision you agonised over was the right one all along. Para Ability Community Care is one of the state's largest and most trusted disability accommodation providers. We're improving lives in small ways every day. Our PAC fully trained carers give your loved one the life they deserve and give you back the relationship you always wanted. Experience our kindness and connection. Visit ourpac.com.au. Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
20 to 8, Stacey Lee in the studio. If you'd like to watch along, you can certainly do so on the Facebook and YouTube live stream, brought to you this week by the wonderful Walk a Mile. Step up to end homelessness. Walk a Mile in My Boots. Register or donate today, walkamile.org.au. But I think we should probably do some text just quickly, David, because huge response to our question about shopping in the city and what people are doing and why they may have changed behaviours. Jackie on the text line says, boys, recently trip into the city to the Central Market, walk from train station up King William Street. What a sad sight. Dirty paths and entrances to many of the once lovely buildings closed and doorways are full of rubbish. Adelaide City Council obviously does not sweep the streets and footpaths anymore. I remember this being done when working in the city, so I'll shop at Hove. Jackie, thank you. As someone here says, I work in Rundle Street in a fashion store. The decline in people shopping in the city is clearly evident. I often feel uneasy about the sad demographic of people in the city. Parking is also a challenge. A lot of our customers are only coming into the shop to refund their online purchase.
Graham from Hallett Cove says something similar. He says, my wife and I used to go to the city regularly on a Sunday, but we don't now, as my wife is scared for her safety due to the gangs walking the mall, plus also the loss of Harris scarves. I do think I'm no shrinking violet, but I feel a bit uneasy in the city at times. And if you had friends visiting from interstate and they were looking for something to do on the weekend, would you tell them, why don't you go down Rundle Mall?
If they're from Melbourne, I would. Stacey's in the studio. That's not a slight against people in Melbourne, but I figure that they're already wearing Kevlar, so it shouldn't be an issue. Good morning to you, Stace.
Good morning. It's true. Every Monday, after my chat with you guys, I go down to walk to a Pilates class, and at this time of the morning, it's dark and dreary at the moment, and I often feel unsafe. And if it's not the people who are sleeping rough that you feel sorry for, there's someone asking you for money, or there's someone shouting God knows what at the top of their lungs, and it's a really sad sight. And now that might change throughout the day as more office workers come into the city, but you can't deny that is an issue that is not being addressed. Yeah. And it's just not a nice place to be. I'd much rather go to Marion, to Westlakes, to Burnside, where you can park undercover. You can walk inside an indoor shopping centre. Even Harbour Town, which is an outdoor shopping centre, it's still much nicer than coming into the city, which is sad because, we have Myer and David Jones, and they don't have those shops in many of the suburban shopping centres. We've got a lot of shops here in Adelaide, but it's just not appealing to anyone anymore.
It feels to me, though, like not enough is being done to stop antisocial behaviour. And knowing I spend a fair bit of time hanging around Goodger Street, go to the market a lot, eat out in Goodger Street a lot, and talking to people there who run businesses, they feel like they just have to put up with the fact that if they've got customers out the front who are trying to eat their meals, that every single day, at some point, some lunatic will come up and start hassling them or try to get into their business. And I know people have been robbed, and, it doesn't feel like there's any sort of high visibility response to the permanent presence of antisocial behaviour.
It's sad at the moment.
Yeah, it is. Keep those texts coming in. They're quite illuminating. 0480 08 1395. The Redbridge poll that came out last night, Stacey, equally illuminating. I can't think it's either the first or among the first. It's certainly the first big poll that has the One Nation Party as the most popular party in Australia right now. 31% on primary, 28 ALP, 20 LNP, and I think Greens are about 12-ish by that number, which is it's a watershed moment in Australian politics, isn't it?
And something I've been thinking a lot about lately is I used to see politics and parties as a linear line. You know, you'd start on the left with the Greens and then Labor and then Liberal and then One Nation, and somewhere in there are the Teals and Independents. But increasingly I'm seeing it as a circle, because it does feel like One Nation has started to take over the Liberal Party, which is, if you're looking at the line, a bit more to the left of One Nation. But now, especially after the state election, and yes, the Labor Party won with an overwhelming majority. They've got a huge number of seats in the lower house. But if you look at the detail of some of those seats in suburban Adelaide and the numbers, Labor is at risk in 4 years' time.
Completely.
By One Nation. So this is why I'm seeing it as a circle, because not only is One Nation sort of eating the Liberal Party to One Nation's left, it looks like they could potentially start eating the Labor Party, which if you're on the circle would be to its right. Look at seats like Elizabeth, the new member there after Lee Oldenwalder was resigned, or as I've been told was forced to resign. The new MP there, Ella Shaw, she holds that seat. 8,500 first preference votes. One Nation, 7,000 first preference votes. There was a 17% swing to One Nation.
Same in
that
Light
seat
as well. They almost lost Light.
They call it
18% swing.
What you're talking about, Stacey, is this the horseshoe theory of political ideology.
Okay, tell me. Better than my circle theory. Go on.
Yours. It's right. But generally, it's talked about in terms of the political extremes, socialism and fascism, which start looking very similar in practice. And funnily enough, we've spoken about this with the rise of Donald Trump. A lot of populist right policies actually start, if you detach them from where the party, they look like leftist fantasies, like nationalising things, the government taking over private industry, tariffs and things. These were once the purview of, you know, your hippie grandparents, you know, that are now popular right-wing sorts of policies. So that goes to your theory. There's something for everyone there.
It's no longer a line.
Hence, it's populist.
You can't place parties as left or right because they're all sort of cannibalising each other, because they're trying to appeal to everyone and to as many people as possible. And it's like, it's an identity crisis of the major parties right now.
One of the areas where One Nation didn't make huge inroads, but still made enough inroads for it to be, in my mind, significant. You look at the seat of Unley. So David Pisoni retired. The Liberal candidate was a very impressive candidate, Rosalie Rotolo, very successful local small businesswoman. Alice Rolls won it for Labor. Again, a really smart, switched-on woman who has been promoted straight into the ministry by Peter Malinauskas. One Nation, though, One Nation got 11% of the vote in Unley. 11%. Now, that's sort of like up towards what the Greens, on average, get. Now, this is one of the bourgeois part of Adelaide, high university education, very affluent compared to a lot of other parts of suburban Adelaide. And what I think it shows is One Nation's bedrock support is coming from two areas. It's coming from regional and rural Australia, and it's coming from low-income suburbs where a lot of people, they earn less, and they've had... fewer of them have been to uni than in other suburbs that are more well off. But the numbers that One Nation's getting now, it shows that it's not just a sort of battlers and rural party. There's a bunch of educated and reasonably well-off people who are just so fed up, so disgusted with the fact that the Liberals have basically vanished up their own backside and become completely ineffective. And they're so disgusted that Labor's been given a free ride that now there's a much broader mass of people who are prepared to say, I'm voting One Nation.
For that to be sustained, One Nation will have to start coming up with actual policies on issues that aren't immigration or nuclear energy. They will also have to start engaging appropriately with all media. You know, it's this Trump effect of shutting out media that aren't pleasant to us.
Do they still do no interviews with the ABC? Is that right?
As far as I'm aware, I'm not a regular listener.
No.
Yeah, neither are
we. But yes, and then they shut out, you know, people who just aren't polite to them or what's the word, like favourable to them. And it's that Trump effect of, well, you know, shut up at a press conference or calling a journo a nasty bitch after the press conference. Some people like that in a leader. They think it's real for Pauline Hanson to go and, you know, slag off a journo. Others, not so much. So I think they'll have to start having some more conviction with appropriate policies and also being held to account on some of that behaviour. Because if that was the Premier after a press conference calling a journo a nasty bitch, that would be front page of the paper, that would be leading the news bulletins every night for weeks in a row. That would be totally inappropriate. And at the moment, they're not held to account by the media at the same level that the major parties are. So if they're going to be a major party, they'll need to start acting like a major party, and they'll need to start being held to account like a major party.
Well, the trick too for them is how do they transition into a lower house force as opposed to being an upper house force? And, and there are signs of that in South Australia with the 4 seats that they won. But the biggie, and what is she now? 74 years old? I think she's 74. We'll double check that. Well, she entered politics in 1996 and she was in her 40s then, so that's 30 years ago.
72.
72. Pauline Hanson is 72.
Just turned 72, actually.
72 years
old.
old.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She didn't go to Parliament last week because she was having lunch with Clive Palmer.
That's right.
For her birthday. That's right.
But if she wins a lower house seat at the next election, she will be 74. You're sort of getting into the twilight years a bit, aren't you?
And is Barnaby Joyce as appealing as Pauline Hanson?
No, I don't think he is.
So if she retires and leaves will she ever leave politics? But if she retires from Parliament, doesn't want to run again or whatever the situation, is One Nation as much of a force as it is right now with her leading it?
Well, who knows? Corey Bernardi might run, and he'd probably win if he ran at the next election because he lives in Coffin Bay. If he ran for Grey, which is now like a 2% Liberal seat.
See, I think Corey and Barnaby are both tainted by their previous affiliation. It's hard to say you're the political outsider when you've been the most in of insider previously. Where Pauline can lay claim she's always been she's always been on the outside.
Can you imagine Corey and Barnaby being in a room together if they ever disagree on anything? I'd love to be a fly on the wall.
Lots to talk about, that'll be for sure.
Yeah.
That's fair. Stace, great to have you in.
Good on you, Stace.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks for joining us. We'll tune in this afternoon. Raymond has called in. Raymond, what are you seeing out there?
Lots of rain and wet roads, but more importantly for your listeners is a traffic accident this morning on Salisbury Highway on the corner of Ryan's Road and Salisbury Highway. It's affecting traffic heading north into Salisbury. Police have one lane blocked off. And traffic, I've just passed the end of the line now. Traffic's banked up basically to the Port Wakefield Road exit. So if you're heading north, just before the exit, before you go over the bridge. Of interest to you people in Mawson Lakes, Elder Smith Drive doesn't look to be affected. I thought it might be with people trying to get onto Salisbury Highway, but that looked pretty good when I passed it. So, yeah, it might pay to allow yourself a few extra minutes or find a different route.
Raymond, that was terrific, mate. If we had a chopper, you'd send you up in it permanently. Raymond and Salisbury with that traffic update. Let's take a quick break. We'll check traffic. Bronte Manuel next.
Morning there. Got a few passing showers. Take it easy on the way to work today. Pretty slippery conditions. Got a broken down truck at the moment on the freeway at Bridgewater, just near the Harndorf overpass. Very slow going through there with big delays. McGill, got an urgent sewer work happening at the moment. McGill Road near Penfold Road. And it's slow for works at Hectorville. Urgent sewer works there too. Montague Road near St Bernard's Road. Camera, Pelling Avenue, Edinburgh. Power up Android at Telstra. Trade in to trade up your Android phone today. Trade in powered by Assurant. Eligible device and Telstra service required. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The energy today, the amount of people who got up before dawn, walking 1 mile in the shoes of someone that has nothing.
Step up to end homelessness. Walk a mile in My Boots. Register or donate today.
Is it the best Beechwood home ever made? Possibly, but there's always more to come from Beechwood. Introducing the Caliente, now open for viewing. The Caliente is a multi-level masterpiece of design, innovation and style. Taking inspiration from Palm Springs and California, it's definitely a conversation starter. The team at Beechwood can't wait for you to see it at 10 Simon Crescent, Craigburn Farm. Open Saturdays and Sundays, 1 to 4:30 p.m. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
You can rent a little, you can rent a lot.
You can rely on Red Spot to keep Aussie airport rentals fair. We're the only car rental company who have kept our prices low during the fuel crisis. And we're the only Aussie-owned and operated choice in major airport terminals all over the country. Experience the local service that saw us named Product Review's 2026 Car Hire Service of the Year. For a deal you can rely on, book your next rental direct at redspot.com.au today or call 1300 66 8810.
Red Spot.
There's a better way to choose your next car, and this is the best way to choose your next car. It's not a test drive bumper to bumper, but more like vineyard to vineyard through valleys and sweeping bends.
That's right. Take a test drive at Barossa Auto Group. Jump behind the wheel of a new Ford, a new Honda, Kia or Volkswagen. They're a massive range. And then you let the road take you where it does. It's the only proper way to get a feel of the car you're about to buy. They've got a huge range of quality used vehicles too, all ready for a run on the open road.
There's such great people too at the Barossa Auto Group. We caught up with them all a few weeks ago. Had a great morning. Here's the bonus though. What about this? Take a country test drive, and if you seal the deal and buy the vehicle, they'll shout your lunch up to $500 anywhere in the Barossa. Some T's and C's apply.
What a cracking day that'd be. New car, absolutely spectacular lunch in the Barossa. Beautiful. Barossa Auto Group, locally owned with dealerships in Tanunda and Nuriupa. Don't test your patience test driving a car in the city. Oh no. Set your test drive free at Barossa Auto Group. BarossaAutogroup.com.au.
A smashed or damaged windscreen can happen in a heartbeat, but it does get worse if you don't go to your local Complete Windscreens to get it fixed. You could be waiting weeks. And look, that's not on. Complete Windscreens has windscreens and glass for all makes and models in stock right now with 15 technicians standing by to get you back on the road. You don't need to wait. Tell your insurance company you want Complete Windscreens on the job. CompleteWindscreens.com.au. Look for the big red koala.
Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Four minutes to 8. It's time to check in on the local real estate picture with Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. He always schools us up about what's going on in the marketplace, but indeed too how we can talk about it and interpret the numbers we're seeing. And Bronte, for that, we're grateful for your expertise and your plain speaking nature. But I know something you're particularly passionate at the moment about is the way in which our headlines around the country tend to be overly focused on the eastern seaboard. What are you seeing out in Adelaide at the moment?
Yeah, so guys, I mean, in Adelaide at the moment, we're still ticking on. I mean, if you look at, I've kind of done some analysis on where we think the quarter's going to end, and I guess we're up 1.4% for this quarter. That's just April and May, still got a month to go, and the estimate is that we'll probably land at 1.8% growth. So we'll just keep tickling up. Sydney and Melbourne, you know, they're negative at the moment, and they'll finish the quarter negative, probably 1 to 2%. So, yeah, I find it fascinating. I remember back, guys, in between 2010 and 2018, and I'd walk into a home in Adelaide, and every owner would go, "But what do you mean? Their prices are going through the roof at the moment. Easily my property's worth an extra 20% more than you're saying." And I'm going, well, all the headlines are Sydney and Melbourne. That's not the Adelaide market. We're different, right? Whereas now Adelaide is ticking along and we're strong, but the headlines are still the market's crashing, Armageddon, you know, your house is going to fall down beneath your feet basically, because these two markets are in struggle. And I guess I don't think FIVEAA has got anything to do with the budget, but if we look at a clock, guys, and I've said this before, but 12 is at the top, 6 is at the bottom, and the clock goes clockwise. So 1 o'clock means the market's either declining or stagnating. So between 12 and 6 on the right-hand side, Adelaide goes into a plateau. You need to remember we've only gone backwards twice in 42 years, once for 3%, once for 4%. But when you're in Sydney, Melbourne, Perth, Darwin, you go negative on this side. Then from 6 to 12 going up is your growth cycle. So right now, I see Hobart at 1 o'clock coming off, Sydney at 3 on its way down, Melbourne at 5.5 to 6. That's going to bottom out at any point. That's why I believe in that market. Darwin at 7, Perth at 9, and Adelaide and Brisbane at 11. So we're about to enter, I would say, in the next year or so, potentially a plateau period, which is normally your 3% growth, not Armageddon. So that's how I see the markets, and that's why we're seeing Adelaide is more expensive than Melbourne, because Melbourne's at the bottom and Adelaide's at the top.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah. Do you reckon, Bronte, that Adelaide benefited from not having the real crazy sort of like, I was living in Sydney in the early 2000s and house prices were just, like, I bought a place for 400 that would probably, don't have it anymore, but it'd probably be worth like 2 million now. Like, things were just doubling within 2 years, but it's been more gradual here, has it not?
Yeah, I think when you look at buying in a market, people go, I should have bought then and I should have bought then. And the reality was that back in the day, it was still tough. Sydney is one of the only markets, guys, that if you look at the growth there, it's done it at a ridiculous rate that you kind of go, well, proportionately, it's not a matter of tough, it's a matter of I can't get in right now. So Sydney has, outgrown all markets by hundreds of percent. So what you may have had, well, you guys, you'd be able to still go and buy it now, so let's be serious about it. But a lot of other people that get locked out of the market.
Hang on. There's a sledge.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, you get a bit comfortable in this segment, Bronny, I think.
Hey, I'm sitting in a feeding chair, so I am comfortable right now, to be honest.
No, we'll forgive it, because what you tell us is great information, Bronny. Good on you, mate. Love the chat.
You've been reading those guesstimate articles of the Advertiser again.
Bronny.
That sounds about right. Yeah, I reckon. No, maybe a bit more.
Bronny Manuel from Toop and Toop on South Australia. South Australian real estate, we will note, because elsewhere you're not going to hear about South Australian real estate. You can hear about Sydney real estate.
Yes.
Breaking 8 next.
Local news and information first. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and windy today, a top of 20 with the 8 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Matthew Pantelis.
Need a crash repairer you can trust? FIVEAA Panel Services delivers expert care to you and your vehicle.
There are no trains running on the Outer Harbour, Port Dock and Grange rail lines this morning. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad says it's after a person was struck on a pedestrian crossing between Woodville and Woodville Park.
Police and emergency services are currently at the scene of a serious crash after a person was struck by a train at Woodville this morning. That incident occurred about 5:50 near Hughes Street at Woodville.
The short notice also meaning substitute buses haven't been organised either, and the boom gates at Woodville Road at Woodville are down as well, meaning motorists can only cross at Kilkenny or St Clair. Southern Australia is on alert for wild weather with heavy winds sweeping across from the west. Parts of WA lashed by a storm, bringing powerful winds and lightning, and South Australia and some of Victoria now on alert as well. Michael Efron from the Adelaide Weather Bureau says the wild conditions will continue into tomorrow before easing.
We'll see those winds continue, but should start to ease through the late afternoon into the evening. A low of 13, a top of 18, further 5 to 15 millimetres expected. Wednesday, further showers up to 16 degrees.
One Nation leader Pauline Hanson is facing scrutiny over her parliamentary attendance. Figures showing she's been absent from 88% of Senate estimate hearing days over the last decade. The senator telling the Australian newspaper she doesn't attend the hearings because her questions don't get answered. Meantime, One Nation has topped a poll in primary support for the first time. The party with 31% support to Labor's 28% and the Liberals 20% on two-party preferred terms. The ALP would score 51% to One Nation's 49%. A 3-year-old boy has died and his father seriously injured in a house fire in the Melbourne suburb of Werribee overnight. Nine's Emily Rice is there.
Obviously, the family is still very much in shock and extremely distressed. But what we understand is that little Jordan, 3-year-old Jordan, was in the house with his brother, who is 11 years old, and parents. Fire somehow broke out around midnight. It was a ferocious blaze. They all managed to escape, but unfortunately, Jordan didn't survive. When firefighters got here, the house was fully involved, the house here on Newbury Street. It took them an hour to put the blaze out. They are still on scene this morning, just trying to work out actually what caused this fire. One line of inquiry they're looking at is whether it had anything to do with an e-bike battery or a scooter battery.
The mother of murdered British backpacker Peter Falconio fears she'll die before his body is found. The 28-year-old was killed by Bradley John Murdoch in 2001 while he travelled with his girlfriend between Alice Springs and Darwin. Joan Falconio using an interview with News Corp to make a rare public plea for Australians to help. A defence expert says we were never going to get 3 new Virginia-class submarines under the AUKUS deal. It's been confirmed we'll now receive 3 second-hand vessels slightly used. Dr Malcolm Davis at the Australian Strategic Policy Institute says under the agreement we would receive 2 used subs and 1 new one, but whatever the outcome, it's still a good deal.
Yeah, people are sort of probably over-dramatising this slightly. Yeah, we'll get the 2 second-hand ones and the 3rd second-hand one. And essentially what that will do is give us 20 years of good life for those submarines before we transition to the SSM AUKUS boats in the early 2040s.
Rescuers are now exploring alternative access points to find the last 2 missing men trapped in a Laos cave. A group of 7 miners became stranded in the cave when flash floods hit almost a fortnight ago. Rescuers extracted the first villager before 4 more found their own way out. Australian cave diver Josh Richards says he's been leading efforts to locate a vertical access into the cave system.
We then marched out through the jungle, found a hole, found a substantial hole. I climbed down into it. I could only get down about 7 to 8 metres before I found another vertical shaft.
Turning to 5AA Sport.
Huge price drop on new Mitsubishi ASX from $34,990 drive away. Agostino, Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes.
And Tom Wren, the Crows and the Power back in action this weekend.
Absolutely. Yes, that's absolutely right, Matty. Let's start with a bit of football. Port Adelaide's players will hit the training track later this morning as they look ahead to this Saturday night's clash against West Coast in Perth. The Power have slipped to 16th after the bye. The Crows will also train later tonight as they prepare for Thursday night's blockbuster clash against Geelong at home. They'll start round 13 in 8th spot. There were 2 games yesterday to wrap up round 12. GWS thumping Melbourne by 49 points, while West Coast was too strong at home for Essendon, cruising to a 30-point win. Well, there could be as many as 17 World Cup debutants for the Socceroos after their squad was announced this morning. The 26-man squad has been announced with the likes of former Adelaide United players Nestor Irankunda and also Mohamed Touré included, along with veterans Matt Leckie and Matt Ryan, who will participate in their 4th World Cups. Christian Volpato is also in the 22-year-old deciding to switch his international allegiance from Italy to Australia. The Socceroos will have their final friendly against Switzerland this coming weekend before their first group game of the Cup comes against Turkey on June the 14th. Let's go to netball, and the Adelaide Thunderbirds have underlined their title credentials with a dominant 61-42 goal win against the Melbourne Vixens. The result means the T-Birds are now a game clear on top of the ladder. At the tennis French Open, a huge upset with Iga Swiatek beaten in straight sets by the Ukraine's Marta Kostyuk. Alexander Zverev is through to the quarterfinals on the men's side along with Jakub Mensik. And in some golf, American Russell Henley has secured his 6th win on the PGA Tour following a dramatic playoff win at the Charles Schwab Classic in Texas. The 37-year-old birdied the final 3 holes before making another on the first playoff hole.
He's done it. Russell Henley charges from behind, catches Eric Cole, and then beats him in the first hole of sudden death.
Impressive stuff. That audio thanks to Fox. That is the 5AA Sport. Matty.
Thank you, Tom. Now checking the roads around Adelaide this wintry morning.
Morning there. Roads away due to passing showers. Take it easy on the drive this morning and do look out for a nasty smash at Greenfield today. 4 cars involved in this one. Big delays, the Salisbury Highway near Ryans Road. Huge delays on the freeway today. Surprise, surprise, due to a broken down truck inbound. That's at Bridgewater, just near the Harndorf overpass. And look out for a camera today, Hawker Street at Brompton. Get great deals on the new Hilux at CMI Toyota, South Australia's #1 selling Toyota dealer. Book a test drive today or visit cmitoyota.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA's forecast now.
This long weekend, check out the new beer garden at the Mosaic Hotel, Footy Park Precinct, West Lakes.
Showers and windy for today and for tomorrow. 20 today, 18 tomorrow. Then showers on Wednesday and Thursday. Both will be 16. Showers to ease Friday, also 16. Currently 14. 5AA, always Adelaide.
Some things are worth waiting for, like tickets to your favourite concert, waiting for a nice bottle of Red to breathe, or waiting for the kids to finally unpack the dishwasher. But waiting to get your air conditioner serviced just before summer or winter really hits? It's just not worth the pain. Get in touch with Morford Air now for servicing or a new system. Put it at the top of your to-do list. When it's too hot or cold to bear, reach for the Morford Air. morfordair.com.au.
Morford Air.
20 years ago, FIVEAA Milk Company was formed with a simple purpose: to give South Australians the freshest quality milk, farmed by the best SA dairy families. Keep it local, keep it real, keep farming families farming. 20 years on, FIVEAA Milk Company produces over 17 million litres of milk every year, supporting 9 SA dairy families and employing over 100 South Australians. Look for local FIVEAA Milk Company products at your supermarket and let's keep a good thing going.
If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blocking up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Precise.
Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. For fixed price services, call Precise.
Or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Call Precise.
Don't just get a forklift. Get a Toyota forklift.
Right now, there's never been a better time to buy a new forklift from Toyota Material Handling. Score great end of financial year deals across a selected range of new Toyota electric pallet jacks and counterbalance forklifts currently in stock. Stacked with legendary reliability and productivity and ready to deliver outstanding end of financial year value. For more, visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Get a Toyota forklift.
Terms and conditions apply. Offer ends June 30.
Is your outdoor area living up to its potential? If not, speak to Luba House and transform your outdoor area with an opening and closing roof that's ready for next summer. An SA family-owned business, Luba House do everything. Planning, design, council approvals, local manufacturing and installation, so you'll have peace of mind it's done right. Don't wait any longer. Find out more with a free design, measure and quote. Bring your outdoor area to life with Luba House. luvahouse.com.au.
Hi, Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. Toop and Toop has been named Australia's #1 large residential agency of the year at the Real Estate Institute of Australia National Awards. It's a proud moment and a reflection of more than 40 years helping South Australians buy and sell property with trusted advice, strategic expertise and exceptional results. As a family-owned agency, we're incredibly grateful to our clients and community for placing their trust in Toop and Toop since 1985. To learn more, visit toop.com.au.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
Knockdown, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
11 after 8, break at 8 coming up in just a moment. Before 8:30 this morning, we've got another Lacornu site scenario developing in the city of Adelaide. The Property Council are certainly concerned about it. Bruce Gitte will be on the show very shortly. Then after 8:30, we're off to Laos. We're going to be chatting with South Australian cave diver Josh Richards, who was sent over there as an expert for two reasons. One, he is a cave diving expert, and two, he's diminutive in stature. And
a small wriggly guy.
That's, as he describes it in his own words, the kind of person that was perfect for the job. As it turns out, the pumps were pretty good too. And some of these guys managed to squirrel their way out. 650 metres they had to crawl through this tiny cave. What a nightmare. We'll talk to Josh about what it was like being there and the conditions there after 8:30 this morning. Really looking forward to that chat. He's a very enthusiastic and up and about sort of character, so we'll hear from Josh after 8:30.
Well, it is without a doubt one of the most extraordinary opinion polls ever published in Australia. Today's Financial Review, the Redbridge poll, shows that One Nation is now the most popular political party in Australia. One Nation stands on 31, Labor on 28, and the Coalition, that's both the Liberal and National parties combined, languishing in the 20s. In fact, just 20 points, 11 points behind One Nation. Corey Bernardi is the South Australian leader of One Nation and a newly installed MLC, one of three in the upper house of the 7 MPs that One Nation returned at the March 21 state election, and we've got him on the line now. Corey, good morning, and thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
Casting your mind back to your days with the Libs, how did the Liberal Party go from that, when you were a member of the Howard government, to this in the space of less than 2 decades?
I don't want to go through the history of the Liberal Party too much, boys, but it was all very predictable, to be honest. In 2016, when I left the Liberal Party, it was clear that it had lost its way, that it no longer stood for anything. I thought the Abbott government got in, was ineffective and didn't pursue the things that it should have done. Then Malcolm Turnbull came through with his wrecking ball and his left-wing mates, and they basically destroyed any last credibility of what the Liberal Party stood for. And that was the change for me. I realised it was actually losing its way. It had no more relevance to Australians, or was certainly waning, and I tried to create something that would anchor it into place. That didn't work. Pauline Hanson has been doing the same thing for 30 years. And the polls today demonstrate that the uni-party politics, as I refer to it, the Labor-Liberal Party duopoly, is broken because they've broken the back of the country. Whatever they've done has resulted in people's lives being manifestly worse off. And so they want hope now, and that's why they're turning to One Nation, because we say what we think and we reflect the views of everyday Australians.
How do you guard against One Nation following a similar trajectory as now you know, according to these new polls, as you should, pursue actually forming government? Because that involves making a pitch to people in the regions and making a pitch to people in the suburbs. And this is where the Libs went awry, trying to be all things to all people. But you kind of have to make a pitch, don't you, that's going to get you across the line and ultimately in a position to form government.
Yeah, you've got to make a pitch, and the pitch has got to be authentic. You know, when you look around the country and you go, the cost of living is outrageous. We've got too many migrants coming into the country. The debt levels are extraordinary. And we've just got to start belling the cat on this sort of stuff. At least talking about it is a positive. And then you've got to come up with ways to redress it. And, you know, the simplest thing that you can talk about in this country is the level of mass migration. It is doing manifest damage to people's lives, the quality of lives here. And uni-party politicians do not care about it because they only want the headline, the economic figures. But what's the point of having a GDP that's going up when the quality of life and the I guess, per capita income for people is actually going backwards or not producing stuff? This is the big problem we've got. They don't want to talk about the reality of life in this country. They want to talk in terms of statistics or something like that. And it doesn't work for people. They're over it. They're just going, this is, you know, they're lying to us. And we've got a budget this week in South Australia, and you just know that there's no plan to repay any debt. There's no plan to do anything except put on more events, really, to distract the people from the things that are not being done here. And that's what I think politics has become now. People are sick of it and they're just saying, no, we want some basic truths.
So, Corey Bernardi, One Nation is in a really good position now in South Australia on account of the huge vote that it got, 24% from memory at the state election. A $6 million war chest now through the electoral funding laws that Peter Malinowskis brought in. Carlos Caremba told me last week that you guys are about to set up a headquarters in Adelaide, which will be the first of its kind outside of the party's spiritual home in Brisbane, where it all began in 1996. You're looking at hiring staff. You're setting up branches in all 10 of the federal electorates in South Australia. The next big opportunity for your party here is the federal election in 2 years' time. Have you given thought to what role you will play in that, and could that include you being the One Nation candidate for Grey?
I read about that in your story the other day. I have no intention of being the One Nation candidate for Grey, David, but thanks for the invitation. I do love that part of the world, and I really think it needs a One Nation candidate, to be honest, or a member. But look, I maintain a separation between the parliamentary wing and the organisational wing. Carlos is the state president. He's an extraordinary bloke and a great colleague, I have to say, but he's doing so much work for the party. He's going to set up all of that stuff. My responsibility, as I see it, is to look after the legislative requirements here in the Parliament and to help our MPs become as capable as they possibly can in that forum whilst they're developing themselves in their election.
So flying to Canberra 22 weeks a year, that's no longer has any appeal to you as a former senator?
I did that for 14 years, David. You know how pleasurable it can be. And when you look at the circus that's up there, you think, my goodness gracious, do you really want to be part of it? We've all got roles to play, and I rule nothing in or out, I have to say that. But right now I'm focused on doing exactly what my my mission is, which is to help our MPs to be the best they can and make sure we're the strongest voice we can be for all South Australians. And, if there's a role to play in the federal election, whatever that may be, I'm happy to step up because I think the country needs One Nation.
Corey Bernardi, SA One Nation leader, thank you for joining us this morning.
You're welcome, mate. Cheers.
It's crazy, huh? 31, 28, 20. 31 One Nation, 28 Labor, 20. A lot of Conservative voters will go, hang on, why don't you just add the Coalition 20 and the One Nation 31 together and get rid of Labor? I actually think that some of the rhetoric coming out of Pauline Hanson's mouth now, she seems to think, well, actually, that's that is probably what I would like to see happen.
Yeah, and then you get a sort of urbanised Conservative vote and a regional Conservative vote in One Nation that lives. Part of the issue with that is some of the data that came out of the FIVEAA by-election and even the South Australian election, certainly FIVEAA most recently, the federal election is probably the best proxy for that. 30% of the Libs preference Labor, of Liberal voters preference Labor ahead of the Coalition. That would seem to be a pretty hard rump of anti-One Nation Liberal voter now. Like, it doesn't, given all that's transpired, it feels like those people aren't ever moving.
No.
And that's the challenge.
Well, and they're sort of the moderates, aren't they?
That's right. They probably live in a city.
Yeah. And they're low taxing, free trade people. They'd be anti-tariffs. Like all of the things that One Nation will go, yeah, let's do that. They're not going to rock up and sign on for that, are they?
Yeah, that's the ideological issue at play. All right, 20 after 8, we're going to check traffic, and we're going to be talking about a big vacant block in the city of Adelaide next.
Roads wet due to passing showers. Take it easy on the drive. Got big delays on the freeway inbound. That's at Bridgewater with a broken down truck on the freeway down track near the Hardorf Bridge. Huge delays at Greenfields. A 4-car crash there. The Salisbury Highway at Ryans Road. And Woodville, Boomgate stuck down Woodville Road near Russell Terrace. Expect delays throughout the morning. Cameras, Hawker Street, Bowden and Prospect Road at Prospect. Get ahead of winter with Origin's comfy credit offer. Plus, enjoy rewards just for being a customer, like savings on shopping, fuel and more. Search Origin by June 30. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The energy today, the amount of people who got up before dawn, walking 1 mile in the shoes of someone that has nothing.
Step up to end homelessness. Walk a mile in My Boots. Register or donate today.
Out of it, and how was it accepted?
An acknowledgement that our game is in reasonable shape.
Adelaide's only local sports show.
We can bridge that gap between us and the best in the competition.
The 5AA Sports Show.
Weekday afternoons from 4
on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Introducing the Caliente by Beechwood Homes. A multi-level masterpiece of design, innovation and style. Inspired by the effortless glamour of Palm Springs in California, it's bathed in natural light through clever architectural design. At its heart, a stunning 6-metre island bench anchors a kitchen that's as beautiful as it is functional. The Caliente is open for viewing at 10 Simon Crescent, Craigburn Farm, Saturdays and Sundays 1 to 4:30pm. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
There's a better way to choose your next car. Not bumper to bumper, but vineyard to vineyard. Come to Barossa Auto Group and test drive Ford, Volkswagen, Honda or Kia, where the road opens up. And the drive means everything. Take a country test drive. We'll even buy you lunch to make a day of it. T's and C's apply. Barossa Auto Group, Tanunda and Nuri Utpa.
South Australia is big, it's wild, and it's all closer than you think. This winter, get out and explore our own backyard with special seasonal rates from Avis Truck Rental Adelaide.
And look, frankly, the best thing about using Avis Truck Rental Adelaide, apart from the fact that they've got a great fleet and they're totally professional, you get to meet Matt. Great bloke. Matt runs the depot at Avis Truck Rental Adelaide. He's a dead set legend, always ready to help out. He's got me out of a few scrapes in the past. This winter, Matt's unlocked these special offers. Special winter rates, next day booking, extra Ks included, and insurance excess has been reduced.
These winter rates apply to their four-wheel drives, vans, dual cabs, 4x4 utes with lockable canopies and roof racks, even the 12-seaters. So whether you're heading to the coast, wine regions, Flinders, you name it, a weekend interstate to the footy even, Matt's got you covered with a vehicle for the adventure.
And look, when you go in and meet Matt, just tell them that you're a 5AA listener and he'll give you the 5AA winter specials. Avis Truck Rental Adelaide, you can trust your mate Matt. Call 8241 5200 or jump online at avis.com.au.
Great things begin with the right space.
A space to work, a space to store, a space to create. Right now, build the space you've always wanted with Olympic Industries sheds, garages and outdoor storage designed for Australian lifestyles. Visit one of Olympic Industries' inspiration centres today and bring your space to life. Start something with the Olympic Industries sale. On now.
It's stocktake time and end of financial year savings are heating up. Save now on wood heaters from $999 and gas log fires from only $2,999. Visit today and get winter ready for less. Only at Illusion Gas Log Fires and Ultimate Wood Heaters.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
25 after 8, Bruce Dutay from the Property Council after 8:30 on a stalled development in the city. After 10 this morning, Pauline Hanson will join Graham Goodings. And right now on 5AA Breakfast, it's time for the World Cup of South Australia.
5AA's World Cup of SA.
Today we get personal because it is people in focus. People in focus for the World Cup of South Australia. You can follow along in our live bracket on our social media. This is the final. No, there'll be another people round before we get to the quarters, won't there? Penultimate people round. So far, Grant Stevens and Tony Modra have made it through from the people side of the bracket. 8223 is the number. Would you like to go first, David?
I will. I feel lucky to have, blessed indeed to have someone who is a genuine food pioneer, someone whose name deserves to be mentioned in the same breath as people like Margaret Fulton for what she's done for food in this country. Maggie Beer, trailblazer from the Barossa Valley. Well, actually, originally from Sydney, I believe, but Barossa girl, obviously known for her great restaurant, The Pheasant Farm, which started in the 1980s. But then she sort of moved into becoming an author. She wrote a whole stack of fantastic cookbooks, Maggie's Farm, Maggie's Orchard, both of which have been on high rotation in my cookbook collection over the years. But then, of course, created a hugely successful business, synonymous with Pheasant Farm pate, but then moved out into verjuice and all sorts of pastes to put on a cheese board, stock, you name it. And, of course, also the star of The Cook and the Chef with Adelaide's own Simon Bryant, which was a lovely... Every time there's one of those shows pops on, I always find myself watching it because they just had this really nice dynamic with Maggie as the genial country gal and Simon as the edgy sort of inner city chef, hard-living chef. And they had a really nice sort of chemistry together in her kitchen. And Will and I, we've met her and been into that very kitchen and interviewed her a couple of times too.
We absolutely have.
So there you go, Maggie Beer.
So Maggie Beer up against Catherine Bennell-Pegg this morning, to infinity and beyond. If anyone is going to lead this state into outer space, it'll be Catherine Bennell-Pegg, who is now here as part of the Australian Space Agency. Not too many industries you can talk about being headquartered here in South Australia. The space industry, which is, you have a look at the IPO that Elon Musk's company is going to make, and you'll see where the money's going. The world thinks space is next. And Catherine Bennell-Pegg is sitting at the vanguard of that for Australia. Was the first astronaut trained to get the Australian flag patch on the gear, and will be the first to go up as an Australian astronaut under Australian space training, representing this country and representing an industry that, when it booms, will boom here in South Australia. That is why Catherine Bennell-Pegg should be your vote for the World Cup of South Australia, because this is the future of South Australia we're talking about, not the past. This is where it's heading, and this is going to put us not just on the map, but put us into space.
Passionately argued, Will.
8223 is the number. Is it Catherine Bennell-Pegg or Maggie Beer that goes through in our World Cup of South Australia? Get voting now. Got to be quick about it. Don't let your favourite escape and into the
fun thing about
wilderness.
doing these is it's like debating where we don't actually know until we open the envelope.
We have no idea. You've just got to do it off the top of your head.
I'm glad I got Maggie Beer. I felt like I was playing a home game doing that one.
8223000. Let us know, Maggie Beer or Catherine Bennell-Pegg, who should go through to the next round. Yuri and Beaumont's going to get us started. Morning, Yuri.
Nowadays, bad. I'm not talking funny. Look, mate, no disrespect to Mrs. B. Look, a lot of people can cook. Many people can cook with a bit of practice, but not everybody can go to space. So this Catherine girl it wins hands down.
Thank you, Yuri. Troy, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good, thanks, Troy.
You know my voice, Will. I work closely with you.
Troy, good morning to you. We'll see you this afternoon. Who are you voting for, mate?
Pardon?
Who are you voting for?
Oh, Maggie Beer.
Yeah, I thought you would.
Was that Rosanna Mangiarelli using an assumed name?
That was Rosanna.
Known by her alter ego of Troy.
Daryl, good morning.
Good morning. Maggie Beer.
Two for Maggie Beer. Maggie Beer's one away. Now, Troy does a wonderful job editing things at Double A.
Right.
He's
at Channel 7, you mean?
At Channel 7. What did I say?
You said
5AA. I lose track. Meredith, good morning.
Jobs.
Maggie Beer, because I love the program. I wish you'd come back.
So Maggie Beer Maggie Beer is through to the next round. Survives a bit of a scare, but Maggie Beer lives to fight another day in the 5AA World Cup of South Australia. So that fills out she'll be up against Grant Stevens in the next round. There's a battle that...
Wow.
Head-to-head. It's hard to read too much into the group stage of the World Cup. We'll do this recently. But have you determined a favourite yet in our World Cup of South Australia? Because there's one entity that, for mine, looms large.
I think Travis Head's moustache is
okay,
hard to beat. The other thing, though, what about Fritz?
Mine's neither of those two. I think Theberton's going to take some beating.
Well, every time we say Theberton, everyone in Theberton rings
The
up.
people of Theberton are too well organised for this kind of competition.
I know.
They've won the World Cup of South Australia, of World Cup of Suburbs, and they are on the cusp of winning the World Cup of South Australia. Maybe, we'll see. They had a dominant performance in the first round. The World Cup of South Australia continues tomorrow. We continue after 5AA News.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and windy 20 today with the 8:30 news. Good morning, I'm Matthew Pantelis.
Had a collision? Get in touch with Premier Panel Services and have your car returned to its former beauty.
A new opinion poll shows One Nation is cementing its position as a major political force in Australia, leading Labor and the Coalition in support for the first time. The latest Redbridge poll showing the minor party now has a primary vote of 31%, edging ahead of both Labor on 28% and the Coalition with 20%. In two-party preferred terms, Labor still leads 51 to One Nation's 49. The research showing most voters don't have faith in either of the major parties to improve the country's outlook. SA Parliamentary Leader Corey Bernardi says it was predictable.
The polls today demonstrate that the uni-party politics, as I refer to it, the Labor-Liberal Party duopoly, is broken because they've broken the back of the country. Whatever they've done has resulted in people's lives being manifestly worse off. And so they want hope now, and that's why they're turning to One Nation.
The Outer Harbour, Port Dock and Grange rail lines are out of action this morning due to an incident at Woodville earlier. A person struck by a train between Woodville and Woodville Park stations just before 6. There have been no substitute buses running for much of the morning either. The state is bracing for damaging winds, particularly by this afternoon. The Bureau expecting 10 mils of rain, but higher falls around the hills and possible flash flooding is likely as well. State Duty Officer at the State Emergency Service, Ian Benithan, says winds will be strong but not extreme.
We're looking at this first cell to come through starting late this morning. That'll go through until Tuesday, and then we look like there might be another short one come through on Wednesday as well. So we're probably looking at maybe 3 days.
The mother of murdered British backpacker Peter Falconio has made a rare plea for help to find her son's body. The 28-year-old killed by Bradley John Murdoch in 2001 while travelling with his girlfriend between Alice Springs and Darwin. Joan Falconio telling News Corp she fears she'll die before her son is found.
If anybody knows anything at all, please get in touch with the police. Anything, however slight you think it is, even though it's been 25 years. Anything.
A survey suggests the vast majority of Australians support payday super reforms, which are due to begin in a few days or in a month's time in July. Super Members Council research found over 70% of people believe the reforms will make it easier for incorrect payments to be identified. Chief Executive Misha Schubert says the changes will improve the wealth of Australians.
When your super hits your account faster, each fortnight or per week or month, depending on your pay cycle, that money gets invested straight away and then can start to generate those compound investment returns that leave everyone better off.
A purpose-built ship owned by Chinese car manufacturer BYD has docked in Melbourne. The vessel, which usually travels to South America from China, has brought about 5,000 vehicles to Australia. It was dispatched here due to a spike in interest for electric vehicles. Turning to 5AA Sport.
Huge price drop on new Mitsubishi ASX from $34,990 drive away. Agostino, Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes.
And Tom Wren, round 12, done and dusted.
It is, Maddie, and there was no immediate spike in form for Essendon, and that's despite the fact they had a change in coach. The Bombers going down by 5 goals in the final game of the round. That was against West Coast in Perth last night. It's the Eagles' 4th win of the season and means they're now up to 15th on the ladder. There was one other game yesterday, GWS jumping up to 10th after a convincing 49-point demolition of Melbourne. The Power, of course, had the bye and then have dropped down to 16th, while the Crows also had the bye. They're in 8th spot. Adelaide will host Geelong on Thursday night, while Port Adelaide travels to Perth to take on the Eagles on Saturday night. Well, the Socceroos have named their 26-man squad for the World Cup. Matt Ryan and Matthew Leckie will head to a record-equalling 4th World Cup. Uncapped players Christian Volpato and Teddy Yenge have also been included, but it was heartbreak for Joe Gauci, Kyle Rouse, Brandon Barello and Martin Boyle, all left out at the final cut. A huge upset at the French Open with 4-time champion Iga Swiatek knocked out by the Ukraine's Marta Kostyuk. Swiatek says she just didn't play at the level required to get the win.
For sure, it wasn't a good day in the office. Many things, I could manage a bit better, but it was super tough today for me to keep the level that I wanted to. And obviously, at this stage, any opponent, like in the 4th round, already played a couple matches, will use the opportunities. So also congrats to Marta.
And in some athletics to finish, pole vaulter Nina Kennedy has made a triumphant return to the Diamond League, winning in Morocco, clearing 4.8 metres, while high jumper Eleanor Patterson finished second. She cleared 1 metre 94. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thanks, Reddy. Checking 5AA traffic.
Morning there, passing showers. Take it easy on wet roads. The freeway, really big delays this morning around the Bridgewater area. It's due to a broken down truck heading inbound just near the Hahndorf overpass. Big delays to a Greenfield to forecast smash the Salisbury Highway near Ryans Road. And we've got Boomgate stuck down at the moment at Woodville from a previous accident, Woodville Road near Russell Terrace. Camera, Sturton Road, Edinburgh. Get 40% off all Pirelli tyres at My Car Tyre and Auto this end of financial year. Hurry, it's for one day only, Wednesday, 3rd of June at My Car Tyre and Auto. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
This long weekend, check out the new beer garden at the Mosaic Hotel, Footy Park Precinct, West Lakes.
Showers windy today and tomorrow as well. 20 today, 18 tomorrow, and showers on Wednesday and Thursday, both 16. Showers easing on Friday, also 16. Right now it's 15. 5AA, always Adelaide.
Listen. On eBay, it's now free to sell, so you can keep more of what you earn.
Well, all right.
No transaction fees on your sales. Not available to pro sellers. See full terms on eBay.
Not every conversation stays with you. This one will. Join Stephen Bartlett as he asks the questions and nothing is left unsaid. Search The Diary of a CEO wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, Daniel Talia here, General Manager of Home. That's HAUME. Put simply, we buy homes. If you've received a letter from us in your mailbox, don't throw it away. You may be throwing away a golden opportunity to sell your home at market value. With zero effort, advertising fees or commissions, you'll save thousands of dollars. If you've received a letter from us, it means we're serious about buying your home. For more info, visit home.com.au. That's haume.com.au.
Your old hot water system can drive as much as 40% of your energy bill. Fortunately, you can upgrade to something that's 70% cheaper to run thanks to Right Price. They're the leaders in heat pumps and installation. Now's the time to upgrade and save money on a more efficient hot water system and take advantage of government incentives and free installation. Reduce your energy costs today with a heat pump from Right Price. Make the switch with Right Price Hot Water.
At Right Price, heating and cooling, you can get the price right at Right Price.
It's back, the Hutt Street Centre Walk a Mile in My Boots, Friday, August 7. For too many people in our community, something as basic as a warm meal, a hot shower or a safe place to sleep still is not guaranteed.
And Hutt Street continues to see more South Australians turning to them for support, with demand rising year after year, especially through winter.
You can help by taking part in Walk a Mile in My Boots, raising much-needed funds and awareness for people experiencing homelessness.
It's easy to get involved. Sign up, tell your friends and family and walk together on Friday, August 7. And if you can't make the walk, every donation still makes a real impact.
Step up to end homelessness. Register or donate today at walkamile.org.au.
Built like a brick house. Tough as nails. That's Basic Trailers for you. This EOFIS, use code 5AA to drive away with Rego for just $1. Made with 100% Australian steel in Adelaide. Basic Trailers. Basically better.
Get ahead of winter with comfy credits from Origin. Move with Origin and you could get up to $200 in bill credits. That's $100 for natural gas and $100 for electricity, keeping you comfy and in control this winter. That's all kinds of useful. Search Origin today. New and moving residential customers only. Sign up by 30th of June and stay until 30th of June. Bill credit includes GST. T's and C's and eligibility apply.
There are many reasons why Steinborner Automotive is well worth a trip, with over 400 cars in stock across 10 yards in Gawler, Barossa and Clare, including Barossa Mazda in Uriutpa, with a great selection of the best value new, demo and low kilometre CX-5, CX-30, Mazda 3 and BT50, along with outstanding service from our award-winning staff. You know it's well worth a trip to Barossa Mazda. View our whole range of Mazda at steinborner.com.au.
Treat your family and friends to something a little fancy from FIVEAA, your family liquor stores. If you relish your winter reds and you like them full-bodied, we have SA-made Shiraz, Cabernet Sauvignon and Malbec for you. A great way to warm up is with a dram of whiskey, and we have many great Australian distilleries with their own distinct flavours. Beer tastes change too, but you're covered with local craft stouts and porters. FIVEAA, your local independent SA family liquor store for over 50 years.
Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
18 to 9. Lots of terrific texts have come through over the course of the program on a whole heap of topics. A lot of votes too for Maggie Beer coming through on the text line. It was 3-1 or 3-2, I think, on the callers. But if you looked at the texts, Maggie Beer was a very, very popular winner for the World Cup of South Australia.
I like this one from Ben in Woodville. Guys, look, Catherine Bennell-Pegg might be an astronaut, but when was the last time anyone gathered around the TV to watch someone calculate orbital trajectories? Maggie Beer has done more for Australian morale with a bottle of verjuice and a duck than most people can manage in a lifetime. Catherine can go to space, but Maggie can get half the country to spend $18 on quince paste and feel sophisticated about it.
Ben, that's a compelling case.
Rob says too, if the best of SA was a Venn diagram, would Maggie Beer be the perfect choice? Person, food, her farm and location in Barossa. She sits in the middle of it all, you could argue.
Yeah, I guess, what would be the thing? That's the only one that sort of struggles a bit. Place, person, food and drink.
Thing might be a pot of pate.
I suppose it could.
Pate.
Yeah, I guess it can.
Yeah, why not?
Multiple different categories. I tell you what would fit in the thing category, and that's the development that isn't. The Property Council warning about a prime bit of land on North Terrace slated for development by the Marshall government. You might recall centrepiece, a proposal there for this wonderful Indigenous gallery that currently is a bit of a dust bowl, and the Property Council are wondering, is this Le Cornu Mark II? Bruce Jitte joins us. Bruce, good morning. Le Cornu. You can't invoke the Le Cornu spectre lightly. Do you think it could get that bad?
Well, it's been about 9 to 10 years, gentlemen. So, there's been proposals for Takari, obviously. That hasn't gone forward. I think the state government, and it'll be interesting to see where it's allocated in this year's state budget, which is out this week, but they've allocated about $200 million in the budget for the past several years. That's clearly not enough. The Premier came out a couple of years ago now and said, this will be not $200 or $250 million. It's over and above $600 million, and that's before the labour shortage was as bad as it is now, before the fuel crisis. I think not just the property council, but every South Australian should be concerned about the government's lack of understanding around the cost of time. Time kills deals in the property sector, and this site has languished for far too long.
Do you feel, Bruce, that it's at the point where Peter Malinauskas needs to make a decision one way or another? Because it felt to me, this might sound cynical, but when he set up that 3-member panel to look at the project, which from memory included former New South Wales Premier Bob Carr, it felt to me like he was almost hoping that they would come back saying this isn't going to fly. Because it feels like Mally probably regards this as a sort of Stephen Marshall promise. He might wonder if you're going to get the return on investment from an Indigenous art gallery that's going to cost potentially like $500-600 million. Do you think he hasn't got his heart in it and that he just needs to say so?
The sector would say a decision needs to be made. Quick decisions, whether it's Takari or another use, the government has to make a decision on this site. It is a prime site. You can't let sites like this languish for decades and decades. And the Property Council does support the development of a world-class arts and culture type facility there. Some years ago, I think 2016, 2017, Commercial and General and John Holland Group had a joint venture proposal for the government back then. It would have cost a fraction of the price to have a contemporary art gallery with some affordable housing and a hotel. And, you talk about vibrancy in the city. There was a proposal 10 years ago, guys. 10 years ago that politics got in the way, didn't get up. Government thought they could do it better. And here we are 10 years later. Let me tell you, that $600 million that was forecast to cost 2-3 years ago, there's probably a B. And it's not in the millions anymore, just to build the same facility because of the cost of delivery. So, yes, a decision urgently needs to be made, Pembo. A long way to answer your question, but absolutely.
We'll ask the Premier about it next time we catch up with him. Bruce Gite, the Executive Director of the Property Council of South Australia.
All right, let's head to Laos now. Josh Richards was flown from South Australia to Laos to assist in the rescue of miners trapped for some 10 days in a cave that had become flooded by water. He joins us on 5AA Breakfast. Now, Josh, thanks for your time, mate. Great to chat with you.
Thanks for having me, folks.
So, Josh, what an amazing result for these people inside the cave. So, did you get there in time to see them coming out?
Yeah, so I was actually heading back into the cave when they suddenly popped out. I'd been standing there with Miko Pasi. We'd been discussing the dive plan and what I needed to do. I was going to be delivering them food and medication, and then on the way out, I was essentially I had a steel spoon tucked up my wetsuit, and I was going to be trying to carve out the walls of the tunnel that was trapping them on the way out as I was heading back out again. We were not planning to rescue anyone that day, and I was just going to apply some of my soggy wombat skills and dig away at the tunnel there for a little while. And, as we're gearing up, as we're heading in, all of a sudden these guys have popped out on their own. Essentially, the pumps were changed. So we moved some of the pumps around, and one of the high-powered pumps was moved to a sump that obviously had a huge effect, and it dropped the water level down low enough that those guys could get out on their own.
Wow.
How are we looking at some pictures now on our live stream? So some of our online viewers, Josh, have a bit of a sense of what it was like. But for people listening, and people that don't have caving experience or cave diving experience, can you describe what the terrain's like, what the water's like, what it's like getting to where these guys are trapped or were trapped?
Yep. So some of the worst parts of this entire cave is right at the entrance. Just as you're heading in, there's a particularly nasty squeeze that is essentially it's quite a long, muddy tube. It's got about 20 to 30 mil of water in the bottom of it. It's mud, and there's a whole bunch of communication cables, pumping pipes, all sorts of different things running down the centre of it to provide communications, to pump the water out, all those sort of things through the middle of it. And so you're essentially squeezing yourself in, pulling your hands ahead, grabbing hold of one of the pumping tubes, one of the pumping pipes, and dragging yourself through. There's a point in there where the roof comes down so low that you actually have to take your helmet. I had to take my helmet off, and you're basically pushing yourself ahead. You're grinding your head against the top of the roof while your face is half covered in mud and water. So it's not fun. It's I'm claustrophobic. I hate going into dry caves.
You're claustrophobic.
I'm predominantly a dry. I am. Yeah. I'm predominantly a cave diver, and I don't experience claustrophobia underwater because it's weightless. I'm quite comfortable squeezing into very small spaces underwater, but when I don't have a regulator in my mouth, when I don't have a guarantee of a breathing supply, of an air supply, I absolutely start to get quite worked up. So this has definitely been pushing the limits for me.
Oh, looking at the video now, mate, I wild horses wouldn't get me down there. It looks extraordinary. Had you dived the cave before?
No. So this is essentially it's an illegal mining cave. So it's a naturally formed cave that the local villagers have gone into prospecting for gold.
Oh, right.
We didn't have maps to operate on. This is literally a hole in the ground that the local Lao villagers were crawling into in order to try and extract gold. So,
wow.
No one's dived this before, and honestly, it hasn't been flooded before. The flooded section itself that requires scuba equipment is about 20 to 25 metres long, and it's only flooded because of the rains that they've experienced. These guys went in really well prepared. They took food, they took water, they were wearing caving suits, and they really got caught. They got caught very unluckily by a torrential downpour that then filled the section they'd gone into up with water.
Unbelievable. What a great story, and terrific that it had a positive ending, because as we found the other day with those poor Italians, these things don't always have happy endings. Josh Richards, you're a Renaissance man, Josh. Mars 1 candidate, Army veteran, ukulele playing koala performer as well, described in the Tizer. We really appreciate chatting to you this morning.
Claustrophobic cave diver. I think it's just an amazing thing. Great to chat with you, Josh. Thanks for your time. Let's check traffic.
Morning there. Bit of a schmozzle on the roads today. Got a broken down truck still getting sorted out at Bridgewater Freeway down track near the Hardorf Bridge. 4-car crash causing huge delays at Greenfield, Salisbury Highway at Ryans Road. Boomgate stuck down at Woodville from a previous accident. Woodville Road near Russell Terrace. Crashed with delays at Bellevue Heights this morning. Shepherd's Hill Road near Sergeant Parade. You can now book an RAA approved repairer online. Just head to the RAA website to find your local repairer. You know you can trust them because RAA do. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The energy today, the amount of people who've got up before dawn, walking 1 mile in the shoes of someone that has nothing.
Step up to end homelessness. Walk a mile in My Boots. Register or donate today.
Of tiles, hands down. No grout, no mould, and completely waterproof. Mr. Wetwall takes half the time to install. It means your costs are kept down. So why wouldn't you, Mr. Wetwall? Take a look at MrWetwall.com.
The most frustrating thing about having your car repaired after a collision can be the wait. Sometimes months. At Premier Panel Services, the wait is one thing you won't have to worry about. We've expanded our workshop and our highly skilled team. It means we're better equipped to deliver an outstanding outcome for you and your car. RAA and MTA approved, Premier Panel Services work with most insurance companies. So ask for Premier Panel Services and get back on the road sooner.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. For over 50 years, the Lynn Andrews team have made it easy for landlords to manage residential and commercial property. From single homes to multiple commercial holdings, our passion for property investment means we have a great deal of knowledge. How to do it safely and properly, matching the right tenant with the right property every time. We're here to help you. Visit lynandrews.com.au.
Fatty plaque. Sounds nasty, doesn't it? And it is. Fatty plaque is made of cholesterol particles that can accumulate in your arteries and even stop blood flow, contributing to heart attacks, heart failure, stroke and dementia, Australia's biggest killers. Treatments are being developed at SAMRI and they're all game changers. But SAMRI needs donations to help with clinical testing. Visit samri.org.au and help us give plaque the flick. That's samri.org.au.
You can rent a little, you can rent a lot.
Whatever you're doing, wherever you're going, you can rely on Red Spot to get you there. We're the all-Aussie family-owned car rental company in airport terminals and cities across Australia, with a new fleet and plenty of hybrid options too. Experience the exceptional service that earned us Product Review's 2026 Car Hire Service of the Year. Book direct and save now at redspot.com.au today, or call 1300 66 8810.
Red Spot.
As a South Aussie-based not-for-profit health insurer, Health Partners isn't just your health partner. We're your tooth-checking partner, hammy-stretching partner, chart-squinting partner. We're your bone-mending, script-filling, arch-lifting, giving, salad-suggesting, generous limit-giving, member-supporting, SA-loving partner. So for great value health cover, there's no better partner in health than Health Partners. Health insurance made human.
Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
5 to 9. We've just got some information through from the Department of Transport. The train services have recommenced between Grange and Woodville and Outer Harbour and Woodville. So trains will operate to their regular timetable between Grange, Outer Harbour and Woodville. There are no services between Adelaide and Woodville and no Port Dock services. So a little bit of a caveat there. No services between Adelaide and Woodville, no Port Dock services, but between Grange and Woodville and Outer Harbour and Woodville, there will be services operating on their regular timetable. So thank you for Dit for sending us through that little bit of information.
Are you cold? I'm cold. It's cold here.
It's getting a little bit chilly, isn't it? Certainly.
How would you feel if I wore my Ugg boots to work one day this week?
I would have no issue with that whatsoever.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right,
I think you should do it.
I will.
You need to champion this. I think this needs to be your cause. Make the Ugg boot fashionable.
I wore them to Drake's the other day.
Yeah, which I think is fine.
What's the drama?
I think the war has been won on that one, hasn't it?
I think so.
If you look at your average, when I go to Drake's, it's Ugg boot central.
You know, one thing I've noticed too, FIFA, they're doing a lot of pioneering work in these suits with sneakers front. That's become a very on-trend Euro look, hasn't it?
It's a very European sort of look.
Why don't we go one further? Suits with Ugg boots.
Oh, now you're talking.
What do you think?
So we're Darwin casual. You've got the no tie.
Yeah.
Adelaide casual, business casual.
Winter casual.
Winter casual, suit, tie,
Ugg boot.
Ugg boot.
If we ever host APEC here, we should give away monogrammed Ugg boots to all the world leaders.
So the picture of like everyone with the shirts on for the Pacific Islands, it'd be everyone in a suit with an Ugg boot on.
Vlasic call it Uggs to you and get them to do it.
That's a brilliant idea.
Monogrammed APEC Ugg boots.
It's an idea whose time has come. Big thanks to everyone who watched along on the Facebook and YouTube live stream this morning. We had the live stream powered thanks to Walk a Mile this morning. Step up to end homelessness. Walk a Mile in My Boots. Register to donate today. walkamile.org.au. Jump online, throw them a few bucks. They do a wonderful job combating the scourge of homelessness in South Australia. Let's have a look at the fuel situation to round things out this morning. The cheapest spots, the United at Elizabeth South, $1.63.5. The United at Rosewater, $2.05.5. Don't get stuck on the side of the road. Get RAA road service. Enjoy your Monday. Stay warm. We'll be back tomorrow morning from 6 o'clock.